All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you there. Good evening to you. This is Jay Randy here. Thank you for joining me here on the short broadcast. And I would like to say thank you again. There's some group. Okay, let me keep going down the list here. All right, here and 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 skip this one and skip this one and skip this one and wow, a lot of group here now. My hands are getting tired here. So ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you and thank you for joining me here. I'd like to say welcome again to another edition of Analyze This. So today, not to waste your time, I am going to show you a photo right behind here. And I'm going to again justify to you why Liberia is not going anywhere soon. Yes, we are going to go through an audio analysis. And I want you to understand exactly what I'm going to be presenting to you here. So what do we have here? Today, I have for you, in less than an hour, I have for you a senator who went for an interview. And I want you to understand from my perspective. Yes. Can you be specific with it? All right, guys, good morning to you there. This is Jay Randy here. Good morning to everyone. This is Jay Randy here. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's a very busy day for you guys, but I just wanted to take this time out to just give you what I have on my mind in regards to the situation happening in the country. Every Liberian is entitled to express his or her opinions, provide some recommendation, make some suggestion, and I think as a Liberian myself, I'm entitled to that. And please join me and share this video here because it's very important, and I want you to hear my side. All right, so I am inviting few people here, and then from there I will start the show. Let me see, I'm going to invite everybody here, friends, folks, non-acquaintance, everybody will be invited here today so that I can have my say and get out of here. So there are a lot of people I'm inviting here today. Some are getting prepared to go to church. At least they will catch it later. I just wanted to be part of this stuff here. Let me see. Wow, my hands are getting tired. I got the other phone here. Oh, my boy Ashford got it. Big brother got it. I see Michael here. I see. Let me see how far we are. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here. This is Jay Randy here. I know whenever I'm on, I have people who are dedicated to come and listen to me. And I would like to say thank you for tuning in to join me here. I'm not going to hold you guys for a very long time. I just want you to take a look at what the topic going to be, or the focus of my discussion going to be this morning. Because I believe that as Liberian, there are times that our common denominator should represent our common goal or for the interest of our country. We cannot allow certain people to want to override our country. Think about this. You and I don't have no long left here. There's no guarantee that you and I will live here forever. The same guarantee that those who established Liberia from 1847, they didn't get to live to see today. You and I will not get to live to see 20 to 30 or 40 years from now, depending on your age. But what we can do is to leave a blueprint, is to leave a legacy that the next generation will be able to template on and improve our lives. So let me do the few share here, and then my focus will be my recommendation. Yesterday, if you didn't watch my show, I started with posting, and I'm standing by Mr. Cummings to tell Mr. Cummings that he need to part ways with CPP. That was my advice to him yesterday, because they did a political plot to humiliate him and disgrace him. Now, I want you to understand this. I'm not speaking because somebody has given me money to talk for them. No. If they give me money, then I will give them more strategy. But when it comes to playing the fair, when it comes to being Liberia-centric, this is where I come in. I can come in for you today if somebody is taking advantage of you. I can come to say negative things about you when you're saying things that affect the society. So I want you to see me as a universal person within the Liberian community on Facebook. I only stand by you when disadvantage is taken on you. I will only come against you. Those of you who know me from CDC, the Prime Minister and myself, we are friends. Best of friends. I could have been in Morovia there getting free money and just keeping my mouth shut and saying nothing about it. But do I feel that's the right thing to do? That will be level my conscience after I die. Some people don't care. Some people really don't care. Think about the Prime Minister, all right, Mr. Toy. Mr. Toy and I was here from 2003. Mr. Toy and myself went to Tottenham together. Mr. Toy and myself sat down in my old Saddam. Those of you guys that know the name of car. Mr. Toy and myself sat down in my Saddam together. I could have gone with Mr. Toy. I could have gone with Mr. Toy the very time he came here in March of 2018 and said, "Come here, let's go to Liberia." I could have gone. I could have gotten a lot of money that I wanted to come and sit down here. But sometimes these opportunities should not trade your value, your love for your country. And that's who I am. Maybe y'all will not see today what I'm fighting for. Maybe when I'm dead and gone. You know, normally when musical stars are getting boring to the people, when they die, their star go up. In the case of DMX, Michael Jackson, maybe when something like that happened to Randy, you want to say, "Oh, Randy was a good guy." Well, before you think about that, I'm here to tell you guys what I believe. All right? So let me just try to invite friends here from my page, and then we'll move on with the show here. All right? So I'm not going to hold you guys for long. If you're down there, just do your part. Try to share the show as well, too. But I just want to provide this suggestion here to Mr. Cummings, and I will be out of here, because tonight we'll have to come back and go into the video presentation of the show. So let us do what we can do here now. Let me see where I am here. Okay, I see myself right here. I see myself right here. Okay. I see Brother Amos George here. Thank you so much, Brother Amos George, for joining me here. Please share the video if you don't mind. Please share the video if you don't mind here. I'm doing the same thing here. Invite your friends. Put it on your timeline. Those that want to listen, it's up to them to listen. Those that don't want to listen, it's up to them. Each and every one of us, in our own ways, we got our right to do whatever is best for us. And there's nothing wrong with that, folks. There is nothing wrong with that. Yes, there's not. I think I sent out all these things to the people already. Yes, I think I already did. So let me come here. Today's here. Let me come here and I'll go to my friends then here and invite them. All right. And then let me come here. Excuse me. And let me come here and go to the public, and right after the public, I will be right here. All right, so there we are. So guys, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to be here. this Sunday morning to have my 2 cents into what is unfolding in Liberia. Yes. I'm not going to go back deep in history, but what I will say to you here, this Sunday is a day that come many times in many years, and one of these past or years that have passed, you and I one time was in the refugee camp on the very Sunday. You and I were one time in the war, and this day became a very important day for us. The years will go, but the days will remain. You see, the months, the 12 months in the year, the 7 days in the week, they all will follow us. The only thing they do, they get rid of all the years. The 70s, the 60s, the 50s, back to the 90s, the months and the year, the months and the week will always go through. But we will not be able to see those years again. But what we can recall from those years are things that happened in the past. Liberia has been in existence for 174 years. We are seeing the worst of everything, from coup d'etat to massive war, and you name it. But what are we taking from there? What are we taking from there? What lesson are we learning from these things? I guess we have become a people who don't care once you springboard into another country, problem over. You don't care for the country. But little do we know that the months and the year will catch up one day. One of these days, you and myself will get old. And whatever we do today, there will be time that we cannot reverse it back. As I see Liberia today, I think everything that you and I went through in our country, we are not ready to properly plan for a better future for our country. Yes, we are not ready. Joseph Boakai is living longer for a reason. One of the reasons, he could have been someone who could educate the young generation how to do the right thing, because Joseph Boakai has seen everything. And Joseph Boakai could be somebody who will just want to do what he wants to do because he got no long left on earth. And I think the last option is what Joseph Boakai is doing today. Think about you living from you 40 years old. Maybe you got about 60 more years left for you. And you're going to be 100 years old. And everything you see today, and when you're 100 years old, and you're telling people the wrong thing, Joseph Boakai is not fair. Let me be honest with you. Joseph Boakai is not fair. Joseph Boakai has served many capacities in our country, and to see how he treated Alexander Cummings, I see no fairness in it. Many times I have come here, many times I have posted things out there describing Alexander Cummings to be a cold cloth setter, to be this. But what Joseph Boakai did to Cummings, it again changed the direction of our country. There's no fair play in the game. You can believe all you want, but one day will come, you will sit down and ask yourself, the way the country is going, what role did I play? And why did I play that role? And should I be held accountable for what happened in the country? We went to war. Why do you think we went to war? We went to war because every democratic process, every policy, every regulation we had in our country did not hold water. Everything was leaking. And that's why we went to war. And what did we learn out of the war? We all sat down in Yamoussoukro, in Accra, everywhere you can think about. There were summits from one summit to another. And every country that wanted to see peace in Liberia, they all went to those summits for us. And little by little, we managed to pick up ourselves, and we got into elections. But what Joseph Boakai did to Alexander Cummings and the others, I'm not surprised at Ure. There's no reason I should be surprised at Ure behavior. Ure took side with Charles Taylor, destroyed our country. So as far as me judging Ure, I got no reason to judge Ure. Ure is level here alone. He wants to see the nasty thing. Ure is just like the United Nations. You know the main purpose of the United Nations? The United Nations is almost like someone who got a funeral home. People that run funeral home, they don't pray for you to live. They pray for you to die so that they can have business. The United Nations most of the time pray that there should be instability in many countries that will keep them running. Ure is a guy who wants to see disturbances so that he can benefit. He don't play things fair because that's who he is. That's exactly who he is. They put an organization to go together, but they started to use other people to start insulting Cummings out there. But Cummings has been in this thing with his heart and soul to make sure that we cannot keep doing the same thing over and over. But Boka and Ure look in the face of Cummings and say, we're going to do the same thing. You like it or not, we're going to do the same thing. So I'm calling on Cummings today. He not paying me for this suggestion, the recommendation. Nobody is giving me anything for this. But I'm going to tell him what I believe are the right things to do, because I don't just come on Facebook to talk. I am a strategist, and I have in place a package and recommendation for Cummings today. And I will say this to Mr. Cummings. I am looking forward to you parting ways with the CPP, because you have room to redeem yourself. You have room to recalibrate yourself. And here's what you need to do. Like I said yesterday. Yesterday, I provided advice to Cummings. Today, I'm going to make recommendation to Cummings. My recommendation here to Cummings is, number one, to retreat and part ways with the CPP. They don't like you. They don't trust you. They don't respect you. Those are the negative things that you need to consider to part way with them. Now, what do you do to re-engineer yourself? I'm recommending to you, Cummings, that you begin to establish a new strategy framework. And it should be called the Team Cummings. Yes, T-E-A-M, Team Cummings. Team Cummings should look at the geographic of Liberia and begin to put in place Team Cummings by county. Team Cummings in River G, Team Cummings in Maryland, Teams Cummings in Mossorado County, Teams Cummings in Riverset, and spread them all over like a cancer. And begin to feed them with your message. A message that identifies the problem, a message that provides solution, and a message that looks the direction that you want to go. From now to 2023 is enough time for Team Cummings across the county to begin to feed your message to the people. And utilize every means you can. Because the goal here is to get to the second round, if not the first round. When you get to the second round, you will be very, very important to the CDC and whoever is in the second place. I'm telling you now. Failure to do that, Mr. Cummings, I have no other suggestion for you or recommendation. And so if you hear and you are part of the Alexander Cummings team, you need to go back and establish a national Team Cummings satellite stations and begin to feed a message to the people. These guys you see on Facebook today, they don't belong to any county in Liberia as far as I'm concerned. They find pleasure sitting out on Facebook like you and myself. I'm sitting out in the comfort of my office here right now. Do I care about what happened in the counties that people live in? No. I don't care for what happened in the county. I got data here. I can sit down here and watch all the drama on Facebook. At the end of the day, I'm going to shut my phone off and walk through that door, see my children having fun, do what I want to do, get on the phone call, and wait for another day for another broadcast for me to entertain myself. That's not what I'm here on Facebook for. Because I know that one day will come, just how we today are judging the Tubman era. We judging the Joseph Jenkins Robert era. We judging all the past government era. There will come a time that our children, our grandchildren, will start to investigate and see what we did in our time that got Liberia to where Liberia is today. And that is something that is very, very concerning to me. And I believe that I must do my part. I must do my part. And doing my part is not going to be an easy ride. There are times that I will look at Joe Weah in the face and tell him he's not doing the right thing. There are times that I will look at Boka in the face and tell him that he's not doing the right thing. And there are times that I look at Cummings and tell Cummings that he's not doing the right thing. Why? Because they are all leaders of our country at this moment. And whatever they do is going to affect the general decision of our generation, that when the future generation decide to look at what we did and how we supported or didn't support it, we all will be blamed because of our present at this moment. If you don't understand that, I do understand that. I'm trying to wash my hands from things that will happen in the future when the young generation try to judge us. Joseph Boyka got no interest in our country. Let me tell you why and how. The why is Joseph Boyka is old enough. He's very, very old. Joseph Boyka can cause any damage today. He doesn't have long left to live. He can destroy that country today, and in years to come, he will be dead and gone. And some of the things will be irreversible. Our democracy is in the contemporary politics of Liberia, and it is time for us to put in the foundations. And the foundation means we should learn to do the right things in the right way for the right reason. Those of you who support Joseph Boyka today, are you supporting Joseph Boyka to defend the future of your country? Or are you supporting Joseph Boyka to defend your pocket and your personal interests? If the answer is yes, let me ask you this. Will it be fair for Joseph Boyka to just get up and few people say they nominated him when you have a democratic process where the voices of people count? Joseph Boyka was nominated in 2017 to take on George Weah. What process or processes did he pass through to still be the leader, to be representing the Unity Party within the CPP? Do you understand the principle, the full principle of democracy? Do you really understand that? Do you understand that? Do you understand the full principle of democracy? Let me just take a step away from my seat here and give you a card here. I need to show you guys something here. All right? Because for me, when I'm doing this thing, I always like to present visual aid here so that people can see here. Let me see what are the full principles here. I don't want to take my seat until I make sure it is in my hand because it's a deck of cards that I have here. So please bear with me. I'm looking through them. I think you can hear the sound back there. So let me see here. The full principle of democracy. I need to find that for you guys so that I can show it to you guys here quickly here. I think it might be in the other badge here. If not the other badge, it should be in the other badge. I am confident that it's in the other badge here. So let me look through this quickly here. All right. Because I really want to show this thing to you guys here. I believe in visual aid teaching because that's my style of teaching. And I think that will help you guys to actually understand my point here. I don't mean to be rude to just walk away from the camera, but I'm just trying to present something to you guys that just came up to my mind quickly here. So let me not waste my time and come right back here. Since, I cannot find it. I could give it to you guys right away. I think it's right here. Yeah, I think it's right here. All right, it should be here. The full principles. If I cannot find it, then I just have to recite it to you guys here quickly here, all right? All right, I can't find it here. All right, it's not here. It's not in my top full presentation package here, but I think I have it here. All right, it's sad I cannot find it right now, so let me not waste your time here because I just want to wrap things up quickly here. Last call. If I cannot find any last call, that's fine. There's so many of them here. All right, okay, so it's not here in the last call. But here's the thing here. There are four principal pillars of democracy. One is total representation. Total representation. Like I always tell you guys, within our democracy, we have presidential representation, where we go and vote for president. And we also vote for elected officials. But when it comes to representative election or democracy, we don't have that. Representative democracy is where people within a political party, people within a community, and people within a county they are giving the voices to elect their superintendent, to elect their party leader, to elect their city mayor. We are not reached that far. How you think we should get there? We should be able to get there by people who are in leadership, setting in place or putting in place the proper channel that we should follow to go through. Joseph Boyka, as the standard bearer against Weah in 2017, lost that election, but he still maintained himself as the standard bearer. And they put themselves together as a collaborating political party. There's nothing wrong. I want you to understand it. There is nothing wrong to come together as a group of political parties to establish an alliance for a common goal. But when it comes to who will represent, just as they go into the World Cup, all clubs or all country teams will participate in the FIFA process, right? But you must merit your time to get to the World Cup. How do you get to the World Cup? By the FIFA democratic rule, you must play countries. The few days you're President Lone Star and playing the few days. How you think Lone Star can just get up and go to the World Cup or whatever club, game they're playing to get there? Because there is a process that everybody must go through. Take that same idea, apply it to a democratic process. If they have called the 4 political parties to sit at the table and only strategize ways to defeat George Weah, that's fine. But when you start to come out and say, we want to have a representation on the table by political parties, then Barker should be going through a convention where the people will represent him. Because you know why? That collaborating political party that came together, it should have been the chairman of every political party, because the election is over. All right? The election is over. And when election ends by democratic rules, the standard bearer that were nominated for each political party should be stepping aside and the party chairman comes in. So in the case of the collaboration, it will be the chairman of the Unity Party, the chairman of the ANC, the chairman of the ALP, and the chairman of the Liberty Party will all sit down to the table and begin to strategize. If they decide that they want to have a standard bearer or a designated person who they believe could take down George Weah, then the party chairman will go back to the party and say, this is why we came out with. Here are some of the recommendations here. We are asking now to have a representation that would, in the end, take on George Weah, to take George Weah down. Then each political party, based on their bylaw and constitution, will then now have their own internal democratic total representation where they will vote. Cummings will be in the ANC along with other ANC aspiring to see where they will be elected to be represented at the CPP. Ure will do the same thing. Barker will do the same thing. Those steps were eliminated by Barker. And Barker only came and said, I am being represented. No Ure, Nada, Nombikanga came out to object to any of those things. Only Cummings alone got up and said, I had to go back to my party to see whether I can be represented here. Are you following me here, ladies and gentlemen? You live in America here. These are things that people do. These are processes that people follow. And those things were not followed in the country over there. And Barker sat over there and bypassed the entire process. And then you got people who supporting Barker. Look at the people that are supporting Barker today and ask yourself, who are these people? Where do they live? What do they do for a living? Why are they supporting Barker? Ask yourself the fundamental question. Look at Omer Barker. Does he have 10 years, 20 years to live for now? I'm not God. But with his ailing health, even if he live up to 20 years from now, what can he do? That has all he is. He will start to fall short to some of the aging problem that every old age person get. And when he sit there and start to do things illegally, unacceptable to our society, and nobody's seeing anything about that, all because we Liberians have been trained to just follow things and not even challenge those things. So again, I'm calling on Cummings to stay away from the CPP. They are not in his interest. They set him up to be what he is today. He was part of the ANC when another guy started to throw monkey wrench into his participation in the club. Yes. How can you be part of the organization and somebody keep insulting you, creating division? Because that was the plan. How can you be in an organization and somebody from the outside start to create division? You guys are planning for your Armageddon. I feel sorry for the people on the ground. I don't understand what some of us are saying here. Liberians on the ground, you are planning for your Armageddon. Let me tell you guys this. During the war, when the war was launched in 1989, those are all that were on the ground. What we thought, oh, the rebel will just come today, they will go to the mansion, and they will take door, and then we'll go back. But that journey, when that rebel entered our country, some of us still walking away from Liberia. Have we learned our lesson? Have we learned our lesson? Oh, Boka is our man. JMB must go. You ask one JMB supporter, why should JMB be president? The only thing they'll give you, JMB must go. Joseph Boka was defeated by George Weah because after all the years that his supporter claimed to have, he could not use one of his experiences to convince the Liberian people. And he has sat down for 2.5 years now, going on 4. And now he coming back with no clear message. And Liberians are sitting there and supporting him. Who are we? When the man with the lawnmower who look at Joe Boka and say he's a dead man walking. And say Joseph Boka said he will compliment everything that Ellen did. And you're sitting down there and allowing somebody like that to play on your mind. To play on your mind. The man who won't tell you, say, Joseph Boka is the dead man walking. We all know flinch. The man who told you that Joseph Boka said he will use everything that Ellen got. And the same man coming to you. Especially you that in America here, in Europe, and coming to you and telling you that the man is the rightful man. But he's not telling you, and you're not even asking, but why Joseph Boka did not go through his party democratic process. Even if the party got that fake and biased rules, what value is Joseph Boka adding to the party? If the people say Joseph Boka was nominated in 2017 and according to the constitution of the party, Joseph Boka will remain, then why do we have a democratic process? That there should be none. It should be a unitary process. There should be no reason for people to have election within the party. Just have a board of people who will just select people. It shouldn't be about election, but selection. Joseph Boka wants to introduce selection into our democracy because he got nothing to lose. What Joseph Boka has done is called selection and not election. And what Cummings is doing. That's why I'm calling on Alexander Cummings. This is a free advice to Mr. Cummings. Disconnect yourself from the CPP. Re-engineer yourself. Think about a strategy called the Team Cummings strategy. Team Cummings strategy should be geographically covering the entire 15 counties. Have a satellite Team Cummings for River G County. Have a satellite Team Cummings for Muscle County. Have a satellite Team Cummings for Grand Cayman County. Have a satellite Team Cummings across the entire country. You got 1 year to go to make sure that that program is saturated among our people across the various county. Your goal should be to get to the second round. And then when you will become a valuable asset. You have been on the ground for a very long time now. You understand the nuts and bolts about what the people want. The only missing part for you, Cummings, is your ability now to begin to strategize. I know some of them will come here to steal my idea because that's what they do for a living. That's what they do for a living. From the CDC government to the opposition to all of them, they steal all my strategy. Because I've been in the game for a very long time. But they will not come back here. All right? It's time in favor of Cummings now. Look at the other guy here. You see Liberians? Let me tell you about the Liberian man, all right? I'm going to take a break a little bit because this guy, I'm going to define who the guy. The guy is just a symptom of some of our fellow Liberians. What did I say from the beginning of the show? You see one of our Liberian men, some of them, I feel sorry for them. And I'm not going to use any phrase here to inclusively bring people in. Did I say I'm in favor of Cummings here when I started the show? You see, the white man, when he gets somewhere, he will sit down and listen for some time. But the Liberian man, as soon as he gets somewhere, even when he gets there 5 minutes, 10 minutes late, while he hear you talking at that moment, he base his question and his mindset on it. That's who the guy is. So that will not waste our time. These are the guys then that allow more God continue to use in his place. And he enjoy using them. Because they don't have connotative reasoning. You know the reason why your child will be given a connotative test in this country? Is because it is very important that they must have that connotative skills to be able to evaluate and understand things. So let's get back to the topic here, all right? So, I am calling on Cummings to disembark himself from the COP. I mean the CPP. Stay away from them. They are one of the most dangerous groups that don't mean well for that country. Look at all of them. The Ure. What character does Ure have in that country? Ure beyond Caribbean where he lives. Who knows Ure on the highway going to Margibi County? Who knows Ure on the highway going to Kakata? Who knows Ure on the highway going to Cape Man? Nobody. He is one of the most selfish person in the world that I have ever seen before. When it comes to carrying on dubious things, he is the master of this game. And that's what he wants to do. Ure doesn't believe in equity, where everybody should have their own share. He wouldn't believe in promoting his family. Who in Ure orbiter that ever run any of his businesses other than his children? Who can come out here today and honestly tell you about the thing that Ure had done? Ure are a maritime. He destroyed maritime throughout. He destroyed maritime through us. Throughout the whole process, he destroyed maritime. During the early administration, he naked a woman who went down there that he accused of doing something that could not be verified. And that's the person that Boka. As far as going to join CDC, it's too early to do that. Because CDC cannot be trusted too. I don't trust CDC. Why it is true that I campaign for CDC, I have learned a great deal of lesson from CDC. I don't trust CDC. President Weah is not a people person. He is selective in doing people things. So I will not allow Cummings to just join CDC now. And that's why I'm asking Cummings to re-strategize himself by establishing the team Cummings across the country. And his goal for doing that is to be able to have a bigger foot in the next round. Because by then, CDC will be coming to him, or the same Unity Party people will want to come to him because they know who he is now in the second round. And now when Cummings can dictate what he wants through some type of agreement that will be legal and binding. But to join now, no. No. Cummings must remain a hero now and not a helper. Because what CPP had done to Cummings, they have reduced him from a hero of his party to now a helper. A helper does not have too many leverage. He can be put anywhere, he can be pushed anywhere. So for Cummings to remain a hero, he needs to stay away from all political parties and do exactly what I just said, hoping that he could win the election as well. But if he doesn't win and they go to the second round, it will still make him a valuable access to the party process, the 51 plus. And that when now he can begin to negotiate as the highest bidder. He should make himself to be the swing party. Wherever he goes, he wins. But what we're making to be that person is the ability to have a problem, identify all the problem, to have a what? A solution to the problem and the direction he wants to take the country. If you look at Joseph Boakai, he has been defeated 42 years in government. Ure have been in that country and also damaged the future of that country. Cummings, you need to understand that. We are who came as the golden child that we campaign for. We are stock is down today. We are stock is down today. And he must bring it up. And he's not doing so well with that. Because people who support we are only supporting we are with biased feelings. And they are even turning against their own sedition. So you, Cummings, you have to redefine yourself looking at the two things I just said here. You have not done anything wrong, Cummings. You still need to go and take a holy bath in the Atlantic Ocean to redeem yourself. You are not corrupt, and I'll give it to you. You are not in the process of joining these guys to do the wrong thing because you just prove it to balk at them. So you still stand a better chance, Cummings. You need somebody who will be very upfront with you like I am doing now. Forget about as if I talk about trying to praise you, everything you do. Where you wear Madonna socks and come outside looking funny like that, he say it look good though. You need somebody who will challenge you to tell you the truth. Because if the house don't sell you, the street will not buy you. Politics is about people being vigilant, people being strong and telling you the truth. We tested George Weah, and George Weah is not strong enough to withstand some of the constructive criticism out here. My videos are out there. Mr. Weah did not take one advice from me today. None. Because of the people he got around him. So I'm giving it to you now, Cummings. This is a free advice. Free advice. I am now a strategist on this platform within the Liberian community. I don't sit on Facebook and only talk about the problem. I provide solution and strategy to the problem. That's who I am. That's what I do for a living. I make your life better. It's not about who Cummings is. It's about being Liberia-centric. Ure is not Liberia-centric. Borka is not Liberia-centric. Weah is trying to be Liberia-centric, but he's not Liberia-centric enough. Cummings, you are looking in the direction of importing or introducing Liberia centricity in the country, and you must stand by it and not be deterred by anything. Because you guys will be the one that the next generation will judge tomorrow. I'm telling you guys. When your school teams are today, the days of Joseph Jiggin Robert or to Samuel Kayondu will no longer be a discussion on the table. It will start from Ellen, Weah, and whoever will come after Weah. That's what will be discussed in the year 2065. Are you guys willing to make that mistake? Will you be in a classroom? Will your situation be in a classroom of young Liberians in the future where they will be discussing the errors that you guys are making today? It's not too late yet. It is not too late for you guys. Whether you're a citizen, you come here, I ain't got for them but you. Because you guys are one of the deceptive people. Some of you guys, from your own president, I don't open up to nobody. I don't open up to nobody. It's very sad. It's very, very sad. And George Weah must be able to accept what I'm telling him today. Look at the number of people that CDC had in the past. But because certain group of people, and Cummings, you need to learn that too. Because if you don't do it, the divide and rule game will exist forever. The divide and rule game will exist in our country, and it will be the elephant versus the grass. And only the grass will suffer. Many of you guys watching me here today, you are not born with silver spoon in your mouth. That means you are part of the grass. Your children were born with silver spoon in their mouth. Borka was born as a grass, but he had transformed himself to be an elephant. Weah were born as a grass, but Weah had transformed himself to be an elephant now and don't care for the common people. Yes, Weah don't care for the common people. If Weah believed that he lived in a swamp in West Point and in Clarendon, when some of us are making statements, Weah will come and listen to us. Look at Samuel 12, for example. We all used to walk in Tottenham Hall down there and go and get beans to eat. But today, they're sitting over there. Let me tell you guys one thing. I lived in the Dual administration. There used to be a guy called G. Alvin Jones, former minister of Liberia. During the Dual era, those guys that were in government, they used to go from one place to another, open the car trunk, and you will see US dollars with the Dual coins. And nobody thought that day was going to come to an end. But where are they today? They are nowhere. So let them do what they can do today. Every one of you guys who enjoy illegally and the people are suffering over there, one by one, that money will go away. And there will be few that will be left for the next generation to see, as in the case of Jenkins Scott. Some of you guys in government today and some of you guys are supporting the government. God will keep some of you guys alive. And you will bear the consequences of what you're doing today. You will cry for death, and death will not come your way. You saw that woman giving water to Jenkins Scott? Those are all who knew who Jenkins Scott was during the Dual time. When we saw that image, We have to clean our eye like this and take a second look. Because he was one of the fearful men during the dual administration. But that guy, he ended. My point here is, all these guys you see passing around here today, oh, they this, they that, they will all wait up one day. Their season will come to an end. And you guys will be saying, yes, that's left. But you know who will be the victim? The incoming generation and the country will be the victim. Because from 1847 to 2021, there have been series of people in the country that have enjoyed. But Mama Liberia has always been the victim. From the natural resources, to war, to chaos, to death. She takes in everything. But we don't make her to shine among other countries. We allow her to just be used by individual. And with that, we're supporting it. You think everybody's going to listen to me today? No. There are some people that God made in Liberia that will see the wrong and support it. No matter what you do, I can take all my clothes here and talk to you guys, which will not be a pleasant thing to do, but it's not going to change their mind. Some of them have already made up their mind that this is why they will support. But you can be the change, because tomorrow you might be the one that will be left here to live here for 110 years, and your children will be coming to you and will start pointing at you. You used to live back there. They're the one who messed the country up. And you cry for death, but death will not come your way. Because it is you that God will destine to be here to feel all the pain. And there will be no way that you turn the hands of the clock back. Because you're now living in a time where you can make the change that you want. Parker don't get a damn for Liberia. He didn't get a damn for a single Liberian that is born today. Every older people who have lived a longer life, they have seen the bad things. The good, the bad, the worst, and the ugly. They have seen it. Parker should be the one to be calling for a fair and open democratic process. But here you go. He's sitting down there, and because of his own selfish ego, he taking side with people who destroy the country. Is you somebody for Parker to go and sit next to? Is you somewhere? You who have been sanctioned by the United Nations, the American government, and Parker they're taking side with him to derail our democratic process. And many of you guys sitting down there and watching this thing happening, and not nobody. What if it was we who had done such a thing? What you think a lot more people will be doing? No, lot more guys, and what you think they'll be doing? Oh, we are saying you're going to the three people, you're going to represent this. But when it comes to you, there is no Liberia centricity. Being centric and being Liberia centric is to put the core values of things that we all consider to be our national pride. That's what centricity is. So when you hear the African Americans say, I want to be more Afrocentric, I believe in Afrocentricity, the African American are telling you in this country. Now, they dress like African, they wear the beads because they are African, and they believe in what we African are neglecting every day. And that's what they mean by Afrocentricity. Take that idea, let us be Liberia-centric. What are the core values that we judge things on? If we have a political party that is operating in the framework of democracy, what are the principles of democracy? Total representation, equality, justice, and equity. Those are the four principal things we have. So when it comes to equality, when it comes to total representation, what Joseph Parker did over there, is it right to communists? Because there are people in Liberia who are looking up to communists too. What Joseph Parker, Nomli Kanga, they see Nomli Kanga here. Let me talk about her a little bit here. Charles Walker Bronsky, while he was alive, he challenged Joseph Parker and told us on front page. That transcript is still online. Go and Google it. Charles Bronsky criticized Parker for 9 million. Just type that phrase in. Charles Walker Bronsky of the Liberty Party, may his soul rest in peace, came up with a long piece A 2-page document explaining how Joseph Boakai maintained a $9 million in his office even up to the Ebola era. And his party did not support that idea. And Joseph Boakai never backed down on that. And normally Kanga today sitting over there and praising Joseph Boakai. Where is the party value that you stand by? Republicans in America will say we should allow Bible to be preached in the school, in public school. Democrats are saying no. That the two-party philosophy. Which one do you believe in? Whatever Charles Walker Bronsky tried to bring to that party called Liberty, nobody can have done everything yesterday. Standing over there and praising Boakai. There are times that they must come to a point where they must agree on certain value within the party. The country is ruined. Liberia is being destroyed mainly by the people in the diaspora. Every bad thing that happened to Liberia, the diasporan Liberians who have been engaged are the ones who destroying that country. Look at the other one they call Alari Tokpa. Alari Tokpa is now sitting there in Minnesota there, right? But back in the days, they were in Liberia passing around making fool out of our young brothers and sisters who are now parents today. But what happened to Alari Tokpa? The mess he created in Liberia, he don't have the means to go there now. Not because he don't have money to go to Liberia. When I mean means, there is no good health system for his age right now. There is no retirement fund. Guess what he's sitting now? He's sitting now in Minnesota there now. Depending on people who fought for equal justice in the country, everybody of age and in age should benefit. He's now getting benefit from the American government. He's now getting benefit from the state of Minnesota. But this is the men who are in Liberia, convincing people for the wrong reason. But because their intent was only for themselves, they ran away and came here. And do you think that mindset is going to be over? You wait. You will have your own commentary after the news. These guys then who are telling you today, you'll do this, you'll do this. You need to ask yourself, where are they living? And where am I living? What guarantee do they have if things go wrong? And what guarantee do I have when things go wrong on the ground here? How many children do I have? How many of them in school right now? And where are their children? Those guys are making the noise behind. Where are their children? I will tell you, my children in America here. My children in America here. Maybe they might not tell you where their children are. I'm telling you, my children in America here. But I'm here telling you the truth. That if anything go down in Liberia, I will not feel it. But what I'm doing here is I'm telling you the truth that those guys are telling you and leading you in the wrong direction. The Ure you see over there, Ure's daughter is in Canada going to school right now. And he knows how to play his card very well. When we were in Liberia in the 90s, when the war started, Tida Ure were in America going to school. When the war subsided, Tida Ure gone back. Today, Ure is back again, making ass out of you guys on the ground. Wherein his other daughter is going to school. Don't you think you or your daughter should be going to school as well? Our Boakai, where are Boakai children? Anyone in our country there and make all that noise. Beyond Samuel Kayando in America here. When the war was raging here, did you see Konosio Robert Salif? Did you ever hear any Konosio Robert Salif? No. Robert Salif was in North Carolina sitting down there. All cheering him. But they were using you guys. Aldo was the bad man. And they pull your heads together. But when the war ended and Eddie took office, the Konosio Robert Salif you never saw, he came and went straight over Nokau. And now he fucked Nokau up. He's not even living in the country now. He's living in Ghana. Have we learned our lesson? We haven't learned our lesson yet. The fundamental original sin of every country is illiteracy. But every country, including the great United States we have lived and continue to live, they came up with a strategy that the original sin of all countries on the face of the planet is illiteracy. But how do we fight it? The American policymakers got together and they said, one of the ways that we should fight illiteracy is to make sure that every child, before you reach the age of 18, you must be a high school graduate. 12 years of mandatory education will help to reduce the illiteracy in America. Liberia since 1847, they even make original sin the worst. There is no educational policy in our country that will compel your child that he or she not in school. You will be held accountable. You will be held accountable. But some people enjoy the pleasure. That's why today in America, you will not find Obama child going to Europe to go to school. It will be by choice. You will not find Donald Trump grandchildren going to school abroad. It will be by choice. You will not find anybody in America here because the people believe in their country. They believe in their country. But all our political activists, their children in America, even the new ones, they came here and born their children and live in America here. But they're telling you guys, do you think about River G? I think about River G all the time. I'm concerned right now about the guy who is 50 years old in River G that woke up today. I don't even know who is his representative and what hope does he or she have for the next 5 years to come. Do you think about that? Do you have that empathy? Do you really have that empathy? And this is where I believe that communists need to focus. We need a focus group. By the way, speaking about focus group, I'm putting out the invitation to every meaningful Liberian. I'm trying to establish a focus group. It's not going to be a political focus group, but we will be discussing political issues that have the propensity to affect the life of your relative back home. Well, we sit down on Zoom or whatever means, whether it Teams, I don't know whether Teams is utilized in the public domain today. But I would like to use Teams because I love Teams. Well, we can sit on Facebook and begin to discuss these guys. What is Boka's objective? What has Boka achieved over the year that he can translate today that will make sense to us? What we has done for the year he been there. And how do you know? How has it impacted the life of the people? How can a man who in the diaspora want to convince you when he is living his life and gaining more opportunity of his life, but he telling you to do the wrong thing in Liberia? How can that work? When we have seen past advocates who went and risked their life, Steve Biko in South Africa, Nelson Mandela in South Africa. Those people made the greatest sacrifices in our country. But you got Liberian advocates that sitting abroad. Their children going to school. Tomorrow is school. They have the choice to be online or they have the choice to be in person. They got Joe Biden coming out and telling them every employer, every school should make sure they protect the kids. But they will get up in the morning, in the afternoon, and come and bullshit on Facebook and tell you, you got a guy who stole $45,000 and sitting down in North Carolina and nothing happened to him. But he's sitting there and thousands of people watching him. Where is our Liberia centricity? Until we define who we want to be as a country and people. What are the core values that nobody should be above, but everybody should be below that? We are going nowhere. We'll only become a country of individual and personal attachment to. That's how we're going to be. I'm a citizen. I stay with the CDC. I don't have no core value that Liberia will be measuring me by. I'm a unity party man. I don't have no value. If we don't have any common denominator of how we do things, my friend, you can have all the big shoulders. Some of us been around for a very long time. We saw the Louis Y. We saw the Martin Brown. We saw the RAW. We saw the Quincy T. We saw all the people in Liberia that used to pull crowd. We have seen it before. We've been there and done that. It didn't pay no dividend. It didn't take Liberia 1 inch from the problem we have. So today, in the modern era of technology, you're sitting there on Facebook. The year started a few months ago. This is the 9th month. How many times have you not sat down on Facebook? What change have you seen in the country when Boka is coming up and trying to rewrite our democracy by not giving full participation with transparency and equality and total representation? And some of you guys say, oh, Boka this. You know one of the reasons why you guys have an advantage? Because you live in other people's countries and you don't feel what the other people on the ground feel. You guys used to be wearing one shoe, one slipper, one brief, one pants, one skirt, one blouse. Today, you got multiple of them today. And you don't think about days. You used to have one thing. You don't think about the days. That other people will come right in that same footstep. But how do you prevent it from happening? Once you leapfrog to where you are now, case closed, yada, 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 I don't give a damn, I'm here today. That's the kind of people we want to be. Is that the kind of people we want to be? I am calling on Alexander Cummings. I'm not an ANC person. I, J. Randy, grew up in Liberia, born in Nima County, parent from Lower Grand Judah that is now considered to be refugee. I live in a swamp. I worked to earn my education in Liberia. I suffered to come in the country. I came here on a student scholarship because I know what it means when that country system did not give me the opportunity. I wasn't born with silver spoon. I came here with a visa to go to school. And I know exactly what it means to live in a society that is so gave a lot of people disadvantaged opportunity. Few got opportunity, the majority have less. So when I see things happening to any individual, I come in that position. Whether it's Joe we are being insulted, I will come and defend Joe we are. But if Joe we are doing the wrong thing, I will criticize him. Whether it is Cummings being the wrong person and Cummings is doing the wrong thing, I will come here and talk to Cummings and criticize Cummings. But when Cummings is being taken advantage of because of him not subscribing or abiding by the wrong things that people are doing, I will come here. So I will say this to Cummings people. As a political analyst, as a strategist, Cummings, you need to have all the list of problems in our country identified. You need to design a solution to the problem and the direction you want to take the country. Your first implementation phase is to establish a team coming, T-E-A-M, teams coming across the 15 counties. Team coming River G, team coming Maryland, teams coming Mosorado, teams coming Riverside, teams coming Cape Mount, teams coming Bapolu, Lofa, and begin to feed those three components. The problem, the solution, and the direction you want to take the country. Continue to pump those things to the people. By the time election time comes in 2023, your message will be saturated, and you just wait to see how it's going to play out. That way, you will defeat the Unity Party people. That way, you will challenge CDC to be a force to reckon with. And should the election go to second round, your commodity will go up high. You been in corporate. You know what to do to make your value go up high. You know what to do. This is an open advice. It's free. Take it from me. Establish a cellular location across the 15 counties. Make sure those who are on the ground are actually using everything it takes to propagate your message. Utilize social media. Utilize the local radio station. Get people on the ground. Work with them. Engage them. Back in the day, we used to have cool where people go together and bread farm. Join them. If anybody is in any organization across the county, put something in it. Put little share in it. And let them get to see. I know the government and some of those guys will see my idea here, but it's free for them. And that's why I don't run behind them for any damn thing. Because I'm too damn good. And I'll praise myself for that. Because they're not thinking about the idea right now. So Cummings, take those ideas. But I want you to be independent. Mr. Cummings, I want you to be independent. Whatever you do not go back to those guys. They didn't love you from day one. They will never love you. If they invite you, it's to finally destroy you up. You know, you can harm somebody. But when that person escape, they stand a greater chance of surviving. But when you get caught again, whatever they didn't do to you for the first time, they will end up doing it to you for the last time. So guys, I want to say a big thank you to you guys for this morning. We'll be back here this evening for the video to have more detailed conversation here. Again, I'm not here as a supporter of ANC. I believe in Liberia centricity. I believe in the core values that we all, from different political parties, should measure ourselves. Check in America here. When you move in a new community, don't you want to know about people who are child molester? Check in America here. When you go to the bank, you stand to the back of the line. These are societal core values and principles that America has established that everybody should follow. If you think that Joe Weah is not the better person, Joe Bucker, and you want to represent your party that is requesting for a representation, and you said the people nominated me, and we don't know who the people are, and then Mo Ali coming out and say, oh, he don't hold anybody accountable for XYZ. then what kind of character is that party? What kind of character is that party? You see, the characteristic of every partisan should demonstrate and continue to show what value that party represents. In my opinion, I'm sorry to say this.
Back or calling on to Ellen Sirleaf Johnson for a national issue regarding the country. That speaks the incompetence, of, let's say, his minister. Government officials in general. The fact that he's seeking help outside, running outside, and this is a government in the past that he served once, as an opposition too. Criticize this government hugely. On the other hand, we actually learned that he also
result, meaning it had never been sustained. Because if you think about it, and I'll give you a brief history about protests, the movement for justice in Africa started in the 60s by Dr. Amos Sojo, who felt that it needed some justice in Africa, particularly Liberia. But look where Sojo is today. So that particular movement that started as a protest group for justice did not materialize. Then we came to the People Progressive Alliance, the PAA, by Backer Matthew. It did not sustain. And then in between time, we have just a lot of regular, not regular, but once in a while protests, and it did not materialize. But this one, I'm hoping that something will come out of it. And here are my two hopes. Number one, it should be well planned out. Why the shooter are supported, but I don't see that much awareness being provided to the turnout, except for Monrovia. We have 14 counties, and if we want to shake off the tree and we want to root out the tree, the protest has to be coordinated. It has to be planned out in order to draw international attention. When you are calling for protests, key things you want to remember. You want to have major players' attention to be drawn to the protest. You want to make sure that your position statement regarding the issue, especially the most current issue that is affecting the reason why you are protesting, are part of the reason that that protest should be able to get those information from the people. So I'd say the protest is in the right direction, but I had some little doubt because number one, in Liberia, one person can wear multiple hats, and that is by Liberian standards, which I won't argue on the show here, but there are some individuals who are in the forefront, and I think looking at their scorecards, because you see the standard that I measure things on, it has so many characters that are involved, and if some of those characters are upside down, so to speak, and that you cannot recognize whether it's the letter A or it's the letter V or it's the letter W rather than the letter M, if their if their track has been like that, then I don't give 100% to the intent, because there is a highly likely possibility that that letter that I'm thinking is the letter M, it could be the letter W, or the letter W could be the letter M, so to speak. So based on that, I support the protest, but I have few percentage that I will hold back because of some major players' activities in the past, and that is I see them as a risky people that could flip because they have had some behavior in the past. But I stand to be corrected because they say people have the ability to repent, and after they repent, they can continue to do the right thing in the right way for the right reason. So I'm not going to hold them, blame capacity. I'm just telling you that it's just that you're sitting in a chair, and I say, well, don't sit your behind on that chair 100%. Make sure you push some of your muscle up because that chair can break at any time. That's how I see it. But I think the protest needs to be coordinated. Coordinated meaning churches on Sunday, like tomorrow, people should go to the churches and enlighten the people why the protest is significant. Touching on the important points, go to different civil organizations, make sure that people in the different counties, they don't have to come to Monrovia. They can go to the superintendent office or offices in their county. Now we have
Okay,
technology
but
spread.
okay, let me ask this. I understand your concern. I would love to be blunt, and I would definitely love to speak out. So we know some of the major players that are, leading this protest that I'm sure you are a bit concerned about, like Costa, like Yeke Koluba. Um, we even like Darius DeLong. Okay, we know that these people, they have shown some despicable uh, past that, I mean, some people like you will feel that they don't have, that right to be trusted to do this or go or get involved in such thing, you know. But yeah, but the thing here is that I would like to relate this whole issue to what do you think is going to be the basic tools in order to fix the past. Like, for example, we all saw that we saw Ellen video that she had with the foreign journalist. I mean, a key point there was that she was asked regarding the civil crisis we had in Liberia, that she supported Charles Taylor logistically and financially. She admitted yes. That means that that ties her even to the accusation of the lives of over 250,000 that was lost in Liberia. She's highly responsible as well.
True.
I personally listened to BBC once when she made the recording with BBC that ECOMO should level the mansion, knowingly very well at the time then. There were people, Liberians, like you and I, seeking refuge right
True.
within that mansion. And this journalist boldly asked to leave after admitting to her support to Charles Taylor. Do you believe that then you owe the Liberian people apologies? She bluntly said no. From that point in time, she started causing trouble just to excuse herself out of that interview. Now, I don't know about you, but I know there are people who are still in support of the War Economic Crime Court. Even some of them that works in this very administration. For example, one like Yeke Koluba, actually being blunt, coming up feeling that he needs to pay for the atrocity of his crime against the Liberian people. As well as General Budnicki has been in that same line and path too. So, if you are looking at people like that, that are driving this protest for such a reason, want transparency, and up to now still speak about the War and Economic Crime Court. Why would you still have a doubt about such people? I mean, and also I know uh, Henry Costa, Henry Costa as well, have done one of the despicable things, like when he lost during his race. He came on the national radio on air and he insulted the Liberian people because he wasn't voted by the people that he expected to have voted him into seat. And today, he's asking them to join him in this protest, knowing this very well too, that this protest, when you flip it on the other side, could be the answer to a lot of our questions. Like, for instance, are we going to get justice? Are we going to get war and economic crime code to our country? This is about raising the voice of the Liberian people that the international community is going to hear. So, why do you think, why are you having doubt about those kind of people?
Yeah, thank you. That kind of drill in a little bit, and I think I can button it from up to the bottom here. For me, I always like to take a historical approach to things, because historical approach will always give you some data that you need to look at in order to prepare yourself for whatever project that may come your way. You see,
folks
who came to Liberia with protests, what had the protests done for the country? If you see Gada Amos Soldier, Gada Tupana Tipote, Dr. H. Burman Formula, these individuals, they went to Liberia and routed people up to carry out protest. In that process, some people died. All right? Some people died in the process. And where are they today? They all had served individually in government, and the wealth they had accumulated. Where are the results? The result is the fact that many people who supported them, their children today are left to fetch for themselves. But they gain from it. All right? So the problem there is there are two things that got lost in the process. The organization through which they came did not sustain itself. Like today in America, you got an ACLU, you got an NAACP, you list those things. Black Lives Matter today. The Black Lives Matter today was an institution that started from protests, but it sustained it, but to build it into an institution. We fail to do these things. Now, when it comes to the individuals, H. Burman Formula were right in the office there with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And there are things that Ellen did that are things that when Doe did, those guys were very, very defensive when it came to that. But when Ellen was doing it, when Dr. H. Burman Formula's sister came to the United States, she was on one of the shows where I had to be that time. I asked her, Miata Formula, everything that is going on in the country, your brother was an outspoken and loud person during the Doe administration. But what has happened in the early administration as a security advisor? Do you feel the comfortable position your brother is in today? Or she said to me, well, I think from what he sees, everything is fine. Now, let's come into this whole present and future march that we're talking about. Like I said, I always look at standards. Maybe it's because of the society and organization that I have worked into and how people measure performance, how people look at character, how people build trust based on integrity. So these things have become part of my daily routine of how I look at things. So when I look at these individuals who I had a little question about, it is their God-given right. It is their legal right. But for me, it's just like they say, come from your house, don't bring water. I say, no, I'll put a little water in my pocket. And, just in case, because I cannot rely on them, because they have history. And here's why. You see, God as Darius DeLong, and I'm not going to single all these individuals but I want people who listen to me to get to understand when I say I have a little doubt about these people. God as Darius DeLong as number one. This man was with Ellen. He made a trip to the UN. He came to Australia. Those things were something that were not really merit, but it was privilege that were given to them. But they were not speaking at that time.
But it's at some point in time, Darius DeLong spoke out.
Hold on. Let me just give everything to you so you can start. Now, everything came to an end. Nobody said anything. Carter Rufus Neville. This man has been in the Liberia National Legislature, drawing the X amount of money that people have been complaining about. And he never said anything in regards to that. But because he's out of office now, he has become the biggest advocate. Mo Ali, you and I paying student loan in this country. Mo Ali came during the early administration and went to one of the most expensive schools. How did he get that money? How many Liberians couldn't have gotten that opportunity to come here? Some of us, when we were in Liberia, to even get a scholarship to go to Nigeria or even to a local school was difficult. But he got those things on silver platter. And they were in the government and saw everything. When Eddie said, I take 4 for Nukau, they didn't speak out. Now, let's come to the grand poobah of all, Mr. Costa. I met Costa in 2011 when he was the single, I think it was 2011, 2012, but in 2011, 2015, right in that bracket. I met him in Wilmington downtown when he came to the United States. I went and personally said, thank you, Mr. Costa. I have been listening to you. I've been listening to you because the voice that you speak, it speaks for my older sister. She had never worked in her life. And the administration, I thought it was going to be there for Liberians. And at that point of time, Costa was seen affiliating with any political party. And just how when new company come into being to establish the IPO, he had not provided his IPO as to who you are going to support. So at that time, he was a very quiet guy. And I started to admire him a lot. And then he brought up Ellen. I think there was a time that there's a guy called Dangote. He wanted to build a coal plant in the Cannonville area. And Costa called me to speak on some environmental issue, which I did. And that, with him, turned our whole case upside down. And I was like, wow. Even when I was about to get a job with the EPA, I called Costa from my Princeton office and asked for his input. And the advice he gave me, I prevailed on that advice based on other professional advices that I sought at that time. And I decided to turn down that position because certain things were not being met. So I built that relationship of confidence in him. But then, throughout the time, what happened in the early government, how he looked at Borka, how he looked at the other people. And then after the first round of the election, and he started going back to the very people that he presented to the Liberian people, that these people are not people that we should trust, and campaigning for them. I was like, oh my God, what has gotten into Costa? Has he lost his integrity? Has he lost his value? Has he lost the awareness? What has happened to him? And I started to take a step back. And then further down the road, he came and sat down with Smith Toby and said, I cannot be an advocate anymore because I have a family. And I said, okay, you got a point there. Because you cannot keep fighting all the time, especially if you can't win. But then later on, I saw him with the president, So, okay, that's good. But then what happened today now that he's had defaulted to something else? So when people see me writing on Facebook and asking questions, it's not because I dislike it. No, I don't dislike nobody. But I'm trying to figure out who is he. How can I personally and professionally look up to him when he keep flipping? And nobody should get me wrong, because this is how people evaluate people in the culture that I find myself in the United States. Everybody may live in the United States, but there are certain places that when you work, certain community you live, certain people you associate yourself with, these values are measured to determine who you are. And from that background I come from. So with all these guys being part of the protest, well, looking at their performance scorecards, I just had little doubt in my mind whether they're going to flip if something goes wrong.
Okay.
That's that, and nobody should hold me. These are things that anybody will hold. It's like your husband being a cheater. He comes to you, or your wife being a cheater, and she comes to you and say, "Oh, honey, I'm done with this thing here." But then you say, "You know what? I will trust my wife, but there will be a little thing in my mind. I will trust my husband, but there will be a little thing in my mind, because it will take time for me to fully recover and get that trust."
Okay, so
And this is where I am. This is where I am with those things. Well, this is where I am with those things. You know, because of their past performances, that's why I'm having a little doubt. But no doubt in my mind that these guys should carry out the protest. Because President Weah, he's a guy that don't listen. One thing I said before you come in, during part of my corrective action to President Weah, I told President Weah on December 31st, and that broadcast right after the election, I had about 16,000 people who listened to that broadcast. In that broadcast, I said, President Weah, you are not president for Ellen. You are not president for Professor Suni. You are not president for CDC. You are president for the entire Liberian community. And I also said to Mr. Weah, you need to go back to the 14 counties and begin to dialogue through a town hall meeting to ask the Liberian people, what do they want you to do? It is not just building roads. Country went to war.
Okay,
There are so many things that got destroyed.
Okay.
But the president refused to take the advices. And sometimes, if you can listen professionally, there's something called, when you build program, you implement it, you plan the program, you implement the program, and then you monitor the program. But at the same time, in that monitoring process, you got compliance and you got enforcement. So the protest now technically is the enforcement aspect of the whole process that will compel the president. Because remember, protest, like I said, produces two things. Protest will produce policy change, and protest group can be turned into another civil societal group. So,
so
people, I will look
let me come
to
in
see
here.
a better protest. Go ahead.
Yeah. The whole 9 yard, I understand what you are talking about. Looking precisely at those people. I'm sure you also too did a follow up. You heard Eugene Fangon planning a counter protest. And the whole thing about what these guys were and what they are standing for now is troubling. We also see that today President Weah is having Ellen in the overall office to discuss national issue. I mean, we all know that's something concerning the country, which is, I mean, logically speaking, it's like Ellen is still part of the body politics of Liberia and decision making, which Doesn't sound too well. But whatever comes out of that meeting up to this time, with everything as we know we have done, do you even want trust this administration any longer? And if we are talking about, a better decision being made, do you think the Liberian people should not re-elect President Weah come 2023?
Yeah, well, let me start from the bottom to the top this time around, right? You spoke about Eugene Fagon. Eugene Fagon is a character that is very troubling to me, all right? I received communication from several journalists, and on one of my shows, I really went after him. But here's the story with Eugene Fagon. It was through you that I came across Eugene Fagon. I remember back in 2015 on the scene show of yours, and thank God for maintaining this this show. And one thing I forgot to mention about Costa here, all right? Since I spoke about maintaining your show. Mm-hmm. Costa, in my opinion, you see, the Fox News Network, the radio talk show host Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, and the others, Glenn Beck. Even though Glenn Beck have flipped a little bit, but got a Rush Limbaugh, they remain with the Republican Party. So just to add a little addendum to Costa issue, I would have supported Henry Costa 100% if he had remained with ALP, but discuss the issue and don't flip to any political party. That means that he's consistent, he has that value structure, he has that integrity. As long as he was going to remain just how Rush Limbaugh is with the Republican Party, and he remained with ALP, but continues to expand and expose national issue, he was going to get those things. Because from my observation, I would say, you know what, he was a party, but we had national issue, and he using his party base to expand on the national issue. So I just want to put that in there. Now, Eugene Fagon, as you know, I met Eugene Fagon on the show. You introduced Eugene Fagon to me. After the campaign, before he was even elected, I said to him, I said, Eugene, no, it was right after he got called. I said, Mr. Fagon, he said, yeah. I said, you remember the lady called Erin Cochran? He said, yeah. So they brought some troubling relationship between diaspora and Liberian, particularly from the United States to Liberia. They go when you go. Because he left during the income tax season. I said, can you do the Liberian people a favor from America and just publish how much you think you're worth? You can redact some of the area by blocking some information and reprint it and give it out. He said, yes, I will. I said, all right. After Eugene left, I started contacting Eugene. Eugene, yeah, it's been 1 month now, 2 months, what's going on? Because I wanted for the Liberian people to regain trust in us and don't see every Liberian that go to Liberia to go and take money. After several posts, Eugene Fagon called me right to where I'm sitting now. And my case was playing around. I had him on speakerphone. That man insulted me. Right after that, I went back on air and I started to cry. I felt hurt. And people like, oh, you're afraid of Eugene Fagon, you this. You know, professionally, when things hit me, I don't go back on air and abuse because I know my character will be online. Most especially with the kind of digital technology we had now where people can record and keep your recording. But then when I started to see Eugene Fagon misbehaving, drunk, insulting people, and President Weah did nothing about it. And then the least that really got me up now, journalists that go to that ministry every Thursday, they are giving money to Eugene Fagon to give to these struggling journalists. And it is being said, and I already put a challenge out there, that Eugene Fagon will take, because each journalist is supposed to get $25. He takes the $20 or the $25 and give the journalist $5.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long has this been going on?
I got all the transcript. I got all the transcript. The only thing I said on my show that he's a alleged thief and he need to verify, because the next time I come with that show, I will be providing those information not just on my show, but I will be publishing the information.
Yeah, but my question is, how long has this been going on?
I cannot tell, but those journalists are willing to come on my show and tell me. But I have all the information. There even a minister within Eugene Fagon office, who not in office but in their building, who in fact has been giving out that money to Eugene Fagon, and I got that communication that he was told to give these people their money. I have the transcript. So I want to discuss the issue on alleged, and I'm also going to discuss it on your show here as an alleged that he has been taking $20 off the guy, $25 every time they went down to the ministry there for the, and the reason for that money is to publish in their papers everything that is being said about the government and effort. But not knowing Eugene himself too has been affecting that. So coming back to him, I see him as somebody who is ashamed to himself, is ashamed to the Liberian people. And now, this is a guy, remember during the campaign, he began to call people cartel.
Yeah.
He began to dig and bring information. So you will imagine that this man, what he did during the campaign, that he will be a zero tolerance individual who will stand for the truth, who will stand for the right thing.
But I don't mean to cut you off. Like you said, I mean, honestly, the entire planet knows that he came up with that stigma against the settlers, or I mean, they are all Liberians, you know, as cartels. But surprisingly, I do have his video. I saw just a couple of days ago, Eugene was on air begging diasporan Liberians, begging from all walks of life.
We'll come to that. Just hold your peace. I will come to that, right? But let me just expand on this cartel thing. He calls Ellen cartel. He called Joe Boyka cartel.
Yeah.
What happened during the course of this week? The very cartels were the people that President Weah called into office for consultation.
Definitely.
So is President Weah himself a cartel now? And is Eugene part of the cartel? These are questions that the media is supposed to be asking Mr. Fagon. So that said, the protest Mr. Fagon is talking about, he should be ashamed of himself.
I mean, even besides that, even besides that, again, I'm sorry, I think Eugene have been reduced to a level where it is about time for George Weah to even let him go, because when they had a meeting, he and Yeke Koluba, he was excused amongst all ministers and all government officials by demand. He was excused from that meeting, showing, you know, no regard and respect to him, that actually reduced him and making him less of an important individual to this government. So don't you think George Weah should have a rethink about this Eugene guy?
Not only Eugene, I think Samuel Toure need to be replaced. I think McGill need to be replaced. I think Pizzo Tar need to be replaced. And I think Eugene Fagon should have been gone from the day he insulted Eric Snow, because that was a gross disrespect, not only based on the standards of being a minister and the code that represent and protect government officials, but he also humiliated the standard that our country should have for high-profile officials in our country. If that happened in the United States, where a government official is seen in the public not only insulting but also drunk. You know, President, we are lowered the bar when the Senate, even without the Senate. Remember, the representative said he was not a governmental material. It only got stopped because some intervention from whatever back end deal they talk about with every snow that stopped that. But I think Mr. Weir should have given Eugene the pink slip. But he knows best what he's doing. But let me come to
I will let you to continue even with the very cartels that were called to office.
Yeah, let me come to that protesting. Why you think the people protesting? The people are protesting because the campaign that we ran, you know, when you're running on a platform, any political party that run on a platform, that platform will become a policy that will be turned into the government working policy to transform lives, to improve the environment, to make life better than where it was when they took office. Eugene Fagon's inability to even work with his boss to create a pro-tourism, to bring people, to say we are working to making the Patawi waterfall in Bon County attractive. We are working to make the Sapo National Park very attractive. Eugene Fagon has not been able to do that.
So in short, you are saying that he's misrepresenting his position.
He's not only misrepresenting, he's unqualified for that position. I mean, like I said earlier, this is a man who stood in an African store and only talk about government. Is that something that we are saw?
But then where do you think the problem comes from? Because we should know better, you know, to be able to know the kind of people that he's, you know, entrusting with those positions. I mean, Ellie had her weak side, but one thing is Ellie knew exactly, I mean, the functionality of those different posts and position that she could always audit, you know, to know if those guys or those departments were actually functioning.
So that you guys can get to see about Costa is not. Oh, okay. So that you want to tell me a joke? I see the problem with Caesar now.
We pay our rent. We are in Liberia. Costa Children suffering in Hassel. They don't children suffering. Baga children suffering. We are telling you, we the Liberian electorate in the country now. The problem is us. How can we face the problem? We should realize that do not sell your voting card. We are, for me, I only feel educating my people how to vote. The value of your vote. Now nothing was doing 1960. If you're talking about safe education, you're talking about good or health care in your vote. When you're talking about good road, when you're talking about security in your vote, voter awareness is one of the most important things. There are people that are disenchanted. There are people that say, "Oh, I will not vote for John Williams. The way he let me down, I will not vote for the opposition." But you have to get up there and vote. Even if you want, if you want to get John Williams second 6 years, or if you want to put Baga you want to vote for Baga, you have to get up there and vote. There are Liberian people, they are disappointed right now. They are so frustrated. I'm not saying the opposition are perfect. No, we know the game are going on. But they're not cost us paying our house rent. They're not cost us paying children's school fees.
So let me ask you this.
We the voter, we the elected that stood with Joseph Baga first. We are still with him.
Let me ask you a question. There are some people, and I just want you to answer that question from your own heart. There are some people who are saying that Cummings will be a better president because he has not served yet, but Baga has served. So why you think Cummings is not a better president?
But Jay Rennie, you can't bring Cummings to the school that you want to discussing that, man. Then I'll be really disappointed.
Why?
Cummings is nobody in Liberia. Yeah, where is that coming? I'm telling you, I keep telling you, but you can follow me for Mutuo, for Grand Bass, or in the video. I'm good at you can follow me. Cummings is nobody yet. Cummings is not our focus. They Cummings here, we know that ANC came for CDC. We know the problem we are going through right now. Cummings is not our focus no longer. There's nobody. We're coming to
so people are saying so because ANC came from CDC, is that why making people don't like ANC?
But anything that attached to CDT now, let me be very fair with you. We won't see you again. And I'm here to let me be very fair with you. You my brother, you can follow me. Anything that attached to CDT, right now, there are serious situations in the camp. We don't care for the B5. 2 won't be 5 president. Maggie won't be 5 president. Edison won't be 5 president. All of them will be 5 president. That poor they must not what she even know going on. Look at what happened to Musa Penete. Look at the right now. You are saying you know that Musa Penete. If on the ruling party, Musa Penete to the interest Kumis, we pay 20 people. So they all that come on, that screams to me. Jay ready? It's not strange to me. The situation are going on ground where today Liberians have been they die and nobody asking questions that we are not secure. That the thing that we are discussing today, our country is going down the drain. How can we put the country back to where it was?
So, are you saying that so people on the ground don't let coming because ANC is from CDC or they don't just let coming? Which one?
They are not the first thing here. The way coming so he said to or coming told us that the only job he want from us, that president job, he will be senator, he will be not representative. And we told him, I told him what they're coming, you know, you have to educate about what wrong with your brain. You see the job we are this on the year. When we told him, people told job that oh lot of the people man that you feeling with now free, you feeling with school. We were selling for job here. The day president working on his my plan, yo, I'm feeling with 12 free. We said we started his you saw it, right? When he came, they told us that no, they may not say having government people will say, oh, what we do here is that's the man, the Senate. We didn't say him there. So he listened to us when he came to politics first. President, we are listening to us. When Solomon George told him to lie to the Liberian people that he feeling with high school, he told them no. There are children right now among the group that know me. Let me tell you something. My mother was married to consider John Randall in our John. We are somebody that I know. I think John, we are not somebody. No, when talk about we are, I know we are. Now my mother from Minnesota was married to one coast, you know, constitution in grandfather now. So I get so if I talk about we are, I know that we are too good. They make them bread on Liberian people.
So let me ask you this. So we are the not allowed to the
yeah, from the beginning.
Okay, from the beginning. So how do you bring that in with comments?
But Kumi told us, Kumi cannot win. What Kumi will tell about what happened to Maryland? They make no election at numbers. They make an only win. Who constitute? What they make a stand talk? What Kumi error? Kumi from Maryland. He didn't run to go settle his parent to Maryland. There's a man that left for here. He was billionaire. He served on coconut bowl. He disgraced. Can you imagine that man took coconut from Africa to South Africa? Hey man, that man's a billionaire. Where the factory that he ever built in the country with all his money, but people that built with when through all your burger were there. All the billions that Kumi have. How many Liberians that were employed on coconut factory? These are the things we're discussing. When Liberian case.
But did you ever ask that question? You ever asking that question or anybody ever asking?
But the question you must ask, ask you on the platform. You talking about Kumis, and I tell you, I'm not discussing Kumis. I'm working. We are discussing. Let me tell you the first thing. We are discussing country that deal with traditional, that deal with culture. We went through 14 years of civil war. People are dealing with trauma, you know. And let me tell you, stay ready. You know what? I want vote job we are offered right now. We want to be just because the country is a complete just country. I tell you that now. One of the things right now that I saw the few days when I was in a village here, running, the trust that in the country that president we are people bringing the country. That one of the things I will fight to remove it through the ballot pass. Our country are turning to a just country. I tell you, my brother, I'm telling you, keep this video. Joe guys dealing. All of them are just video around here. We know the people. You know how many drugs coming for Grand Bassa Port. The men can go on the sea. I tell you, Jay running, they will go on the sea until the kino. They will go meet the kino, deep sea. They're bringing it in the country. So one of the things I've been observing over years, I went to Sando Port. I think you can see me in the villages. I've been on Facebook. This country, right now, one of my main primary issues.
The Boca you want to support, the Boca you supporting now. Let me be friend with you. The Boca be any factory in our country. You ask him come in the question now. Right?
Boca told us to get him opportunity. I told you. Boca told us And you're saying you've been working in government 40 plus years.
Yeah.
That's why you're telling us you're told anything any responsibility you put on Baka, right? So that's why President Weah is refusing to audit the Baka man. That man being government 40 plus years. We have a government that turn power over to the sitting government. Why they refusing to audit the Joseph Baka man? And today, they see that Joseph Baka came for in. We have a female vice president. They must serve the country 20 plus years. Why you think on your show?
Why?
But you support Georgia Jeremy. You keep asking Georgia the question why he refusing to audit Joseph Baka.
Okay, can you give me the answer why he refused?
Because he says he's a corrupt man. He knows that Joseph Baka is clean. Why he giving a president? We have 1.5 million in our budget for quote unquote. Can you imagine? The project was stupid. You telling on any foundation in our budget? We gotta be giving any money in our budget in our foundation. We don't want to be supporting Madam Sally, the corrupt woman that supported war. She better she get charged 10,000 for 14 years of civil war. So we are telling us, you supported Joe we are. You are a great man that supported President we are. He on your show. When I tell you to your call market there. Why President we are giving Eddie Johnson said $1.7 million in our budget? You know that Eddie Johnson said that City Hall, the plaza, 12 years, all men were giving Madam Sally $1 million every year. Go do your research. For 12 years, you will see, I listen to what I'm talking about. People won't come for our Amos Sawyer funeral, but they tell me the airport there, the dark. You must be ashamed of yourself, Madam Sally. You are disgrace to the country. You serve the country, you receive millions of dollars. You send out almost 300 million, you put it to Hacho. The Hacho that you know that you're not even up to date. Then you're telling us, you think that when you tell us that I will frown with John, I will frown with him, Madam Sally, because you are embarrassment. With all your Harvard University degree, you get all the degree. What you did for our country? You pour in the thing. You put us in this. You serve the country for all the lifetime, Madam Salif. You work in the door, the top of all the government. You went to you the queen of Africa in Ottawa, and you sit on the platform telling us that people walk out of Amos Sawyer funeral because the airport died. The question go to you. Clean the code for your ass first. So you can bring president we have for your airport. You think I'm stupid here?
So
yeah.
Are you saying that people against coming because Coming did not be over factory, or he didn't do much as over factory vice president, and he don't have place in Maryland? Is that the reason why?
The reason why we against coming say they only join one from other president join, we say no. They did not force to join.
So why you can't tell him say? So
we told him
to run for something else.
We told him, but Yasini said no. We told him Yasini said no. My own piece said Yasini. You know the local Julius.
So
we told them we all ground.
You tell me on the show here because you told me to keep the show here. Are you telling me on the show that Yasini said no? That coming cannot. I say Yasini there. And I come support talking about. She's a strong supporter. My own sister. Somebody please tell Yasini to come here.
Tell Yasini there. I'm telling you that.
I want for Yasini to come here.
The same way you can call me sometimes when in the bush and say, Timothy, the last time you heard me talking about the Grand Bassa Concord that they are disgraced. When we're going through the Grand Bassa today, say, I say, playing Yomri, I say, playing Dino. All the road, all the things they do around here, what they do for the Grand Bassa Hospital, quote unquote, without even get, I was in the hospital, they feel the Germany, you can buy gloves in the hospital. Where Yomri money going? You think I get to go put Yomri on that blood, Dino? Right now, Germany, Grand Bassa Hospital is dead. We even, remember, you can buy gloves and go to the hospital. They sorry can get you to put the blood in, you buy that rope. The blood there, you know that you can put the blood in, you will buy it. 1 pound of the drip there, I mean blood, 1 pound of blood at 6,000 to 7,000 liver for people in
anybody know where Yasini is? You're picking Yasini because that's what the somebody say. Somebody is saying that Yasini is saying that commission not go
because Yasini that coming supporter. These are the people telling you. I told them that go do your survey. Yeah, Yasini do the survey. Go to Maryland, come to River, go down, my man. Germany, I pray. I know you can. When I get to dine on you, yeah, I know you. Come and do your survey, go around and say, Waka, they don't need you here like Waka and John. We are. Even in Boston, around Germany, let me tell you, keep their videos. They save us 7 and they will bring the front for the people of the power. You will see it. You will see it today. You must have on the show. 7 will be the first people to vote. That before they came down. We are. and you see them voting, you say you see it here. They told me, save them if I was save it. And that Costa is not a problem in the country. I don't know where the Costa constituency. Costa constituency is not a problem.
Sonny, but so aside from Yasini, who else you think stopping coming from not running for the other position? Because you said you told him, you said what about the men on the ground? What about the men on the ground? What the men say in the men on the ground? What they say? Did they tell coming to also not run to, or they say come on for president?
But the Grimsby got on ground again. Look, they come put that on ground. Come me supporting that could not America. Yasini there, Duke there, Lofa Julius there. They down for that people. Why you want everything made upon the God out of ourselves when we started? They wouldn't need no yet. Come in, Baga. I lie.
Yeah, that one like you.
Oh, they wouldn't need that everybody. Some of our fire and 30 minutes not to me. Every Liberian farmer beginning they say we want Kumi, Waka Kumi ticket. And that ticket, you say you saw how that ticket was great. You saw it. All the people going through today. That today Musa Pedete coming up, you're going to leak all you. Can I also then say Musa Pedete today?
So you saying Yasini, Nova Julia, and Duke?
All of them that didn't want damage to me today that is supported them. They die supported that they didn't want damage to me. And we not sit here.
And they damage him by telling him not to run for vice president or for any position.
Yes. Only president doing him a table.
But why you think they say that?
This is the man that won with 112,000 votes. They made that won with 112,000 votes to the 400. You are saying sorry, 450,000 votes. Come came with 112,000 votes. Just like the man Baga came with 450,000 votes. I still be correct on the blue.
That was last time.
So imagine that last time now, the way we are engaged in the politics now, the way we are disenchanted, the way we are. Let me tell you something. Men are coming here that there men walking. The first thing, coming over, you need to clean the code for your ass first. We're not going to already go. You go play the Mutuo, you go play the Maryland. And it discussing like brain politics. The men when any place we go there, we go to traditional community, go there. Why you go down in the bush? Germany, you know what about that? You can go see how the where you go down there. That made a joke. Let me laugh at him first. When we discussing in the bush, when the traditional men are sitting together, people that consider more no. When the women are saying that discussing about the politics now, the politics enter the whole bush. Let me tell you now, Germany. The politics I enter the sounded bush that will make a decision that we that part of it, our people giving a chance because in that bush there is no boss man being there. And in fact, I'm a poor man. I'm telling you on the platform, which I'm proud of. Walk first. So when we discussing politics, where is Kumi? No, when you go around Germany, let me be true to you. You're really here, Waka, and John. We are they Kumi men as somebody we know for him. We're not ready for him. He will not waste the time. The first thing they never make. The first thing they say, our program. There's a question in the bush that people are talking about. They say the mayor supporting mayor, loving the mayor. You know Germany. Oh, so you get question to answer our traditional people. You know that there's a newspaper output in the bush. They put, you know, in the bush, they put hang that newspaper. They put fufu water on it and stick it. When you go in the bush, you see it. So you know our culture now. That man will have to have character. When man can love to man, yeah, I walk out and say, you're putting your marshal. I'm your proof, but I want to say,
let me ask you this.
I'm your proof.
Hold on. Other people will call you. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You got any proof that the man love the man? You're
no,
not
I say, listen, I said they say, amen. And they say for Bagaya, and they say for Joria, I said they say, I say that too. I said, when I put it in the game, they put what in there. When I tell you what I see, when I want to put talking in the bush, and me, I see again that what they say, that's when they put it there.
Are you convincing the people or are you convincing the people that not true?
I wouldn't say any Baga. When they ask me who the man that you want, I say that Baga. I'm not talking about Kumi. I'm not talking about Kumi.
Wait. What if you hear the people, when you hear the people talking about that negativity about comments, can you tell us if coming out to that?
I'm not going to sit down with nobody. No, everywhere I go in the bush, I don't measure Kumi's name. I don't measure. Listen now, I don't measure Kumi's name. In the bush right now, we are the center in Musa Pedete and Liberty Party and the opposition. Let me tell you that the talk all year now. We don't have a Kumi's is not in the show with you. Our toya now,
I don't think so.
Musa Pedete are telling us, and I know you get enough support. What I'm saying here is this. Musa Belede want to destroy the Liberty Party. Then he's saying, right now the information in the forest, they say, John, we have put Joseph Braga, we're not grown. They put the man trying. And they say, yeah, now, that Musa Belede say, Joseph Braga, we're not grown. You know what I mean? That we have, now that we are playing. So say, we see the man that will stop the man we want.
I hope Yasini will come here. I hope Yasini will come here and defend herself because that thing
Musa Belete problem that they want to honor. We challenge Musa Belete. They grant and we prove to order that Baka will be denied. It can't work. So in the commission, no.
All right, Sonny Boy.
That was
you can come back again. But
thank you.
I hope you stay around because the statement you made. I hope Yasini is here.
I said they say that you are supporting gay foundation, get me to all the people, the people.
And
I said that Yasini there spoil him, Yasini there, all of them tell was spoil him, they gave him wrong advice.
Okay.
They gave him wrong advice.
I already got an invitation for you to come here, you can prove yourself. All right? So stand by. Thank you. Let me see who all here. Well, let me see here. Let me bring Cisse back on here and see. If they can bring Cisse on here, let me see here. Let's see. All right, let me bring. I think it's Menyonga on here. I hope some of the ANC people, especially Yasini, I know she always respond to a call. Because the other day when she called in the show, I hope she will come and testify what somebody is saying because. I mean, I don't want to believe it. I just hearing it, and I hope you don't believe it as well because she needs to come here to ready proof because he called 3 names, and the guy is on the ground. So I won't take that for fun. He called 3 names. He called Yasini, he called Lofa Jr., and he called Duke. Like 3 names he called and said that they are the one that told me specifically not to run for any position by the president. I don't know how true that is. You know, I just hope Yasini in particular will call because, you know, she's very open and stuff like that. Share your life in her inbox. Yeah, I will try to do that. Let me see. But I'm sure, there are some top-notch people here that could get to her here. Or perhaps maybe she based. Oh, she coming on. Oh, good. Says, yeah, it's coming on. Good. Somebody here, she coming on. Good. Says, yeah, that's what I like about her. She coming on now. She'll be here very, very soon. Thank God for that. Says, yeah, sorry for waking you up. And whoever sent the information, they didn't send it to you by mistake because I requested you. So I'm very sorry for waking you up. But it happened that Sonny came on the show and he specifically accused you, Lofa Jr. and Duke, of giving specific direction to Comey. Because I'm trying to understand why he's saying Comey is not popular. He's not saying Comey is not popular because of XYZ, but he's saying the fact that Comey said he want to be president, nothing else. They try talking to him, but you and the others decide to convince Comey not to take that other offer. The floor is yours. I don't know whether you listen to him or not. Did you?
I have people inboxing me, Sonimbo. You know, I'm trying to gather my thoughts so I'm not too condescending because Sonimbo is like a little brother to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to walk that fine thread because I want to live in a Liberia where I can disagree with you and still be able to agree with you, especially as an educated and an older person who has integrated, know the goodness of the rest of the word, where have made the other word progress, and know the shortcoming of my country and my tradition to find that fine balance. So I'm going to try to use not just my head, but my heart to speak. I need a lot of counselors. We have a lot of mental counselors. There's something wrong with us cognitively speaking at this point. I don't know who Tony Boy is. For him to even come on this platform and make statement like Duke is a young man. Duke is like a son to me. All right. Duke met Mr. Cummings in 2018 after the election. Duke and myself in the second round, but he were in UP, supported, and Baka is his family. People must understand. Baka is his bloodline, is Duke's bloodline. Maybe most of the people don't know that. And before we joined him in the second round, he was already supporting him. He chose not to support him this time around, and that is his right. Now, what I'm going to say to Sonny Boy here today is, it's really disrespectful, ignorant. Like me, somebody coming to you to say to you, J. Randy Darpoh, who have been in America, gone to school, have your own family, made your decision and say, oh, that Yahoo, the one who encouraging Randy. That should be an insult to your intelligence. That means you are incapable of making your own decision as to where you want to go. Okay? Mona Fahad, Yasendi. Mr. Cummings is a world balanced man. Mr. Cummings is old enough to be my father. He's 60 some more years old. Okay? So we are not of the same age group, number one. This man has worked all around the world in over 50 countries and lay out foundations and build organizations. It is only Liberia, this is where our country is behind, where when you go out, you succeed, your success becomes some sort of venom to your people. You become enemy to them instead of embracing you. You know, I have a doctor that's a Nigerian. He has been my doctor since maybe I was about 27, 28 years old. He's like a family, my family doctor. And then and he says to me, what is wrong with y'all Liberians? Most of the place, even well, if you're like if you work with people, then they know who your president is. But they ask this question to us. I'm sure somebody will say, Jay Randy, where were you when so and so person? Why your country is like that? What's wrong with you? I would say to Sonny Boy, he needs help. Yesterday, Sonny Boy was pleading that he needed somebody to have a system built like America. Who never lived in America, who don't understand how America works, cannot build you in America. Because he had never dreamed about it. It's not going to happen. All right? He himself have never seen America, and he does not know what makes America works. What makes America works is structure, the rule of law, equality, education. Every woman and every child, okay, fighting chance. America has come a long way, and she has a longer way to go. Yesterday, we confirmed the first black woman as a Supreme Court justice from, from slavery to the presidency. Vice president as a woman, black woman, mixed color woman, and a black woman, a Supreme Court justice. They're making gains. We're not waiting for the rest of the world. While Liberia waits for a hand out. I'm gonna say this to my little brother Sonny Boy. Sonny Boy worked for my brother for a very long time. Okay, that's the first time I met him, and he knows how far back we go. And my brother died. So for him to come here and look at a married man who has been married for 40 years, his son and daughter, grandchildren, to walk around and even make those pronouncements, I'm ashamed of him. Okay? It means whatever he's smoking, and I'm going to say this, he needs to go leave it out. Okay? He really needs to. And I'm speaking right now, and I'm really pissed off. Somebody like it, bring the argument. What is his argument? What are the issues that we should be speaking to? What are the issues that Liberians are facing? Liberians are facing unemployment. Liberians are facing a flawed justice system, that justice does not work for the poor. Liberians are facing violation of young women and men. Liberians are facing lack of health care. I wake up every morning to my inbox, people begging just for their children to get medication. A boy in Grand Bassa County was stabbed over 20 times. They arrested a guy. Okay? They're talking to the hospital. The hospital will not treat him because he don't have money. So who gets in my inbox? Elton. Where are all the rest of the people? All right. Today on the highway in Kakata, The people from Ministry of Education were coming. They were in a bad accident. 2 people died on the scene. There was no first responder. The people were the ones who were trying to turn the car over with their hands. The whole place was crowded. Those are the issues that we've been talking about. No, Mr. Cummings is straight. Let me explain to you people, and maybe Rennie can amplify that. In the United States of America, when you go look for a job, okay, it's not the CEO that interview you. It's not even people in the third executive level that interview you. Okay? When those people, when you get to that, that means you are the upper management. In the mid-level management, you got the first interview, you got your second interview, your third interview, you have interview with a group of managers from different departments. All right? You will not see people like Mr. Cummings there. You will not find them there. Maybe every now and then you will run into them because you don't understand layers. This is not Liberia where when you know Nathaniel Miguel, you go walk into his office. Okay? This is not Liberia where when you know Toa, you go walk into his office. It does not work like that. We have systems and processes and protocols to follow. You guys don't have it. That's why Liberia is all side down because of people like you. You don't think without the box. You don't even think inside of the box. You're stuck in the box. Okay? You are like a firefly put in a mayonnaise jar, and you cannot go and use your full potential. You talk because you hear people talking without doing your own research. Let me say this to you. Mr. Cummings' question. Let me say, and I worked in management before. All right? I have to work in a call center managing. We had people with PhD. My job was not to find out where they smoke so don't they pass the drug test. My job was not to find out if they slept with women or with men. That's discrimination. I mean, I have to work there. You tolerate people so long they can do their job. You perform, not even tolerate, you coexist. That's how the rest of the world are function. That's what the rest of the world are developed. That's how they work. The thing is, though, I hear all this in Liberian people that are gay phobic. For them, undercover gay. Liberia is not in the new Sodom and Gomorrah. They're having sex with men and women all together all over in Barbary in Liberia. My little sister just got back. We know what y'all doing over there. They carry swing young girls to shadow them and act like they got girlfriend. No, they don't. They don't. So to sit here, and you know, Margaret Thatcher said, when people don't have anything else to go against you, they use personal attack. Mr. Cummings said, and I will repeat, I struggle with it too. I'm a Christian, my husband is a pastor. When I came to this country, Jeremy, I landed in New York to face it, which is a modeling agency. My cousin took me there. That's the first time I saw men wearing skirts and high heels. It was scary for me. That's how I ended up in Georgia. All right? Because I came from a small place. Why would men want to wear skirt? Why would men want to be with another man? Why would women want to be? But that's what they want to do. In America, you don't get to go to jail for that. In America, it's in every place, in every working place. And as a leader, you must learn to coexist and hire people based on talent. They can produce. How you feel about them sexually, how you feel about the color of their hair, the color of their eye, or the color of their skin, or their origin, or if they have accent. I have accent, and I work in the education industry here. All right. Then the first thing I tell you, if I get new student, understand you, you need to understand me. Maybe most of you need to get out of Liberia a little bit and see how the rest of the world have been able to develop, because most of you are stuck in some kind of machine. But I'm going to say this. Mr. Cummings is a very brilliant man. In fact, Mr. Cummings, I would say he's a Bologna genius, if not if he is. Because people who think with half of their brain, that's what they call them, they're geniuses. All right? So they focus on that. So they surround themselves with brilliant people. Cummings will tell you, he's not intimidated by people. He knows his strength, he knows his weaknesses. So he brings in people that will do where he cannot do, and he's comfortable with that. If Liberian think Liberian deserve better, they will give Liberian people a chance. Now,
so say Yasini, let me ask you
yes.
quick. So Sonny mentioned directly, and he defended what he said, that you specifically told Cummings not to run for any position. Yes or no? Can you give a yes or no with follow-up answer? Because I just want to, he said he's still watching. Is that true?
That you
But that is
told.
that is a lie. That is so disrespectful. Who the heck
Okay.
is Sonny Boy to even make this kind of statement? Why go sit down? To decide, when have you ever sat in the room with me for him and to decide that? Is it not coming constitutional right to exercise? What make them think Bwaka, after 25 years trying to be president, he's the only one that here? This is his entitlement. What make you think that? What make you think Bwaka is the only one? Even me, I have the right to come to Liberia and vow to be president. That's what I so choose. What the heck are they? Because they sit on platform when people now saying $2 here, $3 here, they come and talk trash and think, oh, Mr. Cummings needs to be second. Oh, before Mr. Cummings was a good man, you must finance everything and go with Bwaka. But you know what? I don't blame these people. I blame old man Bwaka. Now it comes to me to see what happened to Bwaka, why the woman where he served for 12 years wouldn't support him. He's deceitful. I don't like to be disrespectful and not be disrespectful. Those are just the truth. He's very disrespectful. He's very deceitful. Bwaka played this mafia game, and in time I will tell you, Sonny Boy know what he did to my brother. I will speak to it. I have tried not to speak about it, when I speak now. The day will come, I will speak to what he did to my brother. And they were not even speaking until almost the election, when he called and reached out to my brother. Okay? I will tell you. All right? He had like this mafia boss who walk around on Sunday, goes to the church, give all of the money to the people, kiss all the children. They think he's a peaceful man, right? But then in the back, he's giving order for the street to be beaten, for people to be locked down. Why you think all these grown little boys and not particularly Sonny Boy people are walking around insulting? And Waka told us last year, Mr. Cummings was a stranger. Then he said down 50-50 because you came to Monrovia and so and so. I was not even paying attention until somebody sent me a video that when he came here, I was leading, because when he used to come here, I received from the airport. And Mr. Cummings would come to meet with him because Mr. Cummings was one of the big people.
I saw that video.
Yeah,
I still got a copy of that video.
yeah. So I didn't think about it, and well, why would the papa be doing this? Then somebody sent it to me and said, yeah, and are you here on the something with the papa?
Yeah.
And I said yes. Then I started to say, then it caught my ear, and I said yes. So then I put up that particular clip of it and put it on Facebook. When I put it on Facebook, the next thing is Bwaka shows up and say, oh, listen, I are friends. We even went to school together. He used to come and visit me. Although all this while Alexander Cummings has said on all of his interviews, he knew Bwaka. In fact, during the campaign, he was not listening. That Mr. Cummings got over 114,000 votes. Those are the numbers. I'm giving you numbers. Okay. Mr. Cummings came third in five. Being into the election in less than 18 months. For somebody to come sit here and let me say the Sonny Boy, I come from the second largest contest in Liberia. Guess what? In every corner, in every hole, Mr. Cummings' name is there. And then maybe you don't know this. Mr. Cummings roots in Nima County. Right there from Ganta. Grandparents are from there. One of his parents, I'm not going to say who, and you will find that out soon. Okay? So maybe you just don't talk. You just don't talk. These people talk a lot. That's the problem. And we will show you. I'm from Nima County. We will show you. We will show you. Yes, Mr. Cummings is going to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia. We're tired of crying, and we'll get jobs creating. We have companies coming to Liberia. And guess what? You will not have to talk for $2. None of you will have to, because somebody send you $1. Yes.
I don't mean to cut you. Sorry. He also mentioned that Comey doesn't have a base or a family in Maryland. Do you mind addressing that? I mean, I'm just responding to all his questions because he lives on the ground.
Let me address it. Let me address this. There are about 60 million Black people, I think, here in the United States. A Black man as a president, okay, out of 329 million at the time, or maybe 320 million at the time. Bill Clinton came from one of the smallest states in America.
Arkansas.
Yes, Arkansas. Elected him president. alone would not have made him win. Joe Biden come from Scranton.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
a small state. If Liberian people want change, they want jobs, they want their independent, they want to be treated like human beings, they want to bring Liberia better space and build her back better for all. Liberian people will choose the right person, not somebody who people want to control. I hear Henry say we are going to, when he take over, he said in here, woman,
Yeah,
we are
yeah,
going to
you're
control
gonna
him.
control
We're
everything.
going to
Yes,
tell him
yes,
what
I
he's
got a
going to
video
do.
too.
So Sonny Boy is looking for somebody who he wants to control and tell what he wants to do. No, I want a leader that will what? Model leadership. That when my son see, they want to be like him. Even they do now. That when my daughter see, they say, you know what? This is what I want my children in the future to look like. That's where you see in Liberia, because most of them, they wire all over the place. The part them don't sit down. When they see a man that is faithful to his family, you know, people used to say, my mom, they say, I made wish with my husband because where I tell my husband don't go anywhere, he's a pastor. Okay, we live in a very noisy Liberian community. I tell people, right here, I'm the only noisy person in my house. My kids are not noisy. All right, and people say, oh, but what when that high-headed woman, blah blah blah. In America, when do you know this? If you are a leader in a corporate or especially a Fortune 500, your name is a brand. Don't contaminate it, because you contaminate the organization. Okay, now it comes to a year running a two life concurrently. Number one, he will not be with Coca-Cola. Number two, it shows that he does not have integrity. He will not be there. So let me say that I've known Mr. Cummings for years, over a decade. He's a good person. He's a warm person. He's an ethical person. He's a forthcoming person. He's a great listener, and that way he'll be making a better leader because he listens to everybody. Okay.
So in the midst of everything Mr. Comey is going through right now, the court proceeding, mom not too well.
Yes.
Where do you guys stand from the party standpoint? Because I think the chairman of the party, I think he based in Morovia. I mean, he's highly seen, highly heard of. Maybe I could be wrong, but with everything happening to Cummings, I mean, where do you guys stand now? Because somebody saying that the party is not popular. If you go through the counties, the party is not popular. So, what information do you have for those that are listening here?
So, Brother Randy, it's a word. Popularity is a word. It's not data. Engineer, you deal with data. Okay, numbers don't lie. Okay,
True.
here's the numbers. You already have been in Liberia all of the war. You know what he did. Okay, he didn't get 2% of the vote, so he does not even qualify to run as a president in Liberia. That's off the back. Many of them on that list don't qualify to run other political party based on the what do you call it, the NEC laws. You know, we can chronicle some of their names, but I'm not going to do that here. Here it is. Sonny Boy just blah blah blah. He gave us no data. As an educated woman, I deal with numbers. You want to talk about electorate? Let's talk about numbers. What data? Based on what data are you calculating? Waka being in the electoral system for 12 years as an incumbent. Yeah. As an incumbent, he had logistic core advantages. He had presence in all 15 counties. He had offices open. He had money to his disposal, and he was decimated in the elections. For me to say that and say, oh, he can be, we are being over 300,000+ votes. Guys, don't be realistic. You try not to be facetious about stuff, but we have to be realistic. It was decimated, and the level of arrogance, okay, and entitlement. It's annoying with these little government brats. That's why I call them, because they feel that they're entitled to government job. That's the only way they can survive. Here is it. Here's how we do it, and you're coming to come. In the world that I develop, we go into private sector. We pay our quarters. We learn well. Then before, majority of the people you see in the developed world in government, they've already paid their dues, and they go into government to serve, to fix the things that they see while they were out. All right? My lawmaker makes less than $30,000 a year. Here locally, we have a $40 billion budget in Georgia. She makes less than $30,000 a year. She's a chemist and own her own business. I can literally name most of my senators because I helped to get them elected. All right. These are accomplished women and men. A bunch of beggars who just go and get themselves rich, and that's why they get there. It goes to their hair because they don't earn it. They take advantage of the system because you have people who are traumatized, who are uninformed, who refuse to educate themselves. People must understand. Common sense is more important so now than the classroom education. Being able to think critically, and that's why most of us are lacking to think critically. Listen, based on the data, 18 months into the election, Mr. Cummings having a print on the ground. He came in 5, even brown skin. You know where side, and that's exactly what they did. And that's why Bronsky didn't become president today. May his soul rest in peace. Because my husband is one of the founding members from the state end of a Liberty Party. Go to the former chairman and ask them, they will tell you that. Most of them don't know this. Because people like Sonny Borden, they're stuck on tribe and think Liberty Party, the Pastor Party. No, Liberty Party. Even Brunsky's daughter, when she gave her speech, she told you and gave you the historicity of the Liberty Party. She was trying to establish something. These very Liberian people are in Liberia. You know what they call Brunsky? A Basra president.
Wow.
When they see good people, they demonize them. When they go on, they come back to praising them. All right? Brunsky did not come fifth or third. 5 counties. Monrovia said he was not third. Mr. Cummings was third in Monrovia. You want to fit in Nima County per se because you have Prince Johnson, you have Bwaka, then you have Buya and Mr. Cummings. So looking at the numbers, they said they didn't know this man. But let me say Mr. Cummings base. First of all, because Mr. Cummings came from a developer, the way we calculate, where the old people are already set in a way. You will not be able to sway a lot of them because they're emotionally stuck to the political party. Only a few logical, or maybe that 20 or 30% of the logical one will say, I'm doing this for my children, right? But you look at the young people and the women, they keep telling you that, and you can tell the young people, especially informed young children who are hungry for change, just as they did where we are. Liberians are looking for change. Most of my siblings voted for we are. Man. Always say, my mother will not support we are in the next election. My siblings are not going to support we are in the next election. I can tell you off the bat. And Nima Kante, majority of them are not going to support we are in the election. All right.
So you switching to we are now. So let me there is a memo coming up here just so you know. Let me just turn the thing around now that you spoke of we are because it's starting into my stuff. I don't know how well you can see this here, but I'm going to attempt to read that here quickly here. So this I think it's this Monday, the 12th. Mr. Weir is actually going to bring his team of cabinet together, and they have some objective here. Let me bring this up for you here, and I'll carry closer so you can see it, yeah, because I need your feedback on this here. So he's going to bring a team of his PADP National Steering Committee. He's going to bring some partners, and then what he's going to do here is this, all right? So he's going to provide, let me just read these things here for you as part of the discussion. These are key objectives of the meeting here. So I'm just going to read out. He said, provide update on the implementation of the PAPD. As you can see here, provide update on the implementation of the PAPD and take stock on achievements of key national indicators. I don't know what that is. And then as part of the discussion, provide policy direction and reprogram resources for priority program for the remaining lifespan of the PAPDP and stuff like that. And let me see here. And then the tail one say here,
further reinforce the PAPD governance mechanism for the coordination, monitoring, and reporting of the PAPD, the SDGs agenda for 2063. I don't know what you make of this, Cynthia, but do you think at this time where election is coming up, to say you want to have a committee to sit down and look at your achievement, and do you think the timing is wrong or right? I mean, now that you brought in we are, because that's something I was planning to discuss, but it seems to be that the issue has been taken over. What do you make of we are from the time he became president, where he is now, and where you think he should be after 2023? Your thought on that?
Here's my thought. We have some of the best brain to tap into. I know majority of these people who actually started the CDC right here, like the Jonathan Dewey, the Quinny, now Dr. Quinny, Daniel Doe. You were here. You helped with them. Liberia has. It does not have to be local. Okay. We have literally tarnished name. We have failed the Liberian people miserably. Liberian people gave you a free pass and a blank check, believing that's their son, that he understood what it was like to send your child to school in the morning without food. That some days your shoe will be bust because your mom or your parents didn't have enough. That's over 80% of the population. They could relate to him. They see him. They saw themselves in the children in them. The kids saw the children themselves in them. I remember being in Liberia. I've traveled 5 counties during the elections, and people would say, whether we are no book, you don't know book, we will vote for him. You who know, but what have you people done? We are is one of us. And they were singing it. They blocked roads, not just in Monrovia, but in Bon County, in Grand Bassa County, in Mangibi, in Nimba. In fact, when those children were coming in the streets, or what do you call it, Ganta City, people move. Okay? That's how his presence, some of these people, the children have never met we are. They have never met we are. And they're really disappointed. This week, we have fired a Nimbadian who were working at the airport, the seaport, citing that he was loving to his girlfriend. Okay?
Is that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. His last name is Sumi. Okay, I'm not gonna call his first name. Yes, they fire him.
For more business.
Yes. And you know, and we have PAPD promised 1 million Nigerians out of poverty every year. We're almost finishing our 5th year. Okay, a 5th year, I mean. Liberians are poorer than they ever were. The only people that are rich that we are in is gang. What's his name? The McGill that were here. I think you guys saw the article that came out before we were called. I published that article, and I did a counter after in the what do you call it? The Front Page Africa. I was a member of the board of EULA. I served here in the Liberian community as the president of the Liberian Association of Metropolitan Atlanta. In fact, when I took over, the people had suspended their membership to EULA for almost 5 years at the time, 3 or 5 years between that. And we came together and I begged the people, the leader at the time, I think it was Queenie, had said we are going to do differently. We're going to make financial report because people would say they were not giving financial report and here. So the promise. So we pay all of the back payment to rejoin the union with the promise that they would be about the people business. It would not be about springboarding themselves to get into government or to get a government job. We live in a country with trillions of dollar budget, with a lot of grants money. Gate Foundation got money. Even Google got free money. But you have to do what's right. You got to report what you got, and you got to make report for you to be able to get those money. You're not going to get it by doing all the clandestine things that they do, or you just don't make report and think people People hold people here accountable. I don't think it's possible. Time is over.
Okay.
Time is over, and he needs to be realistic about that. He better not try to force himself because he will be disgraced. This is not a threat. I mean, I'm not saying that, somebody is going to go in the bushes and come for him. The Liberian people will ask him to leave. We're not going to go back into the bushes anymore. Okay. When someone tells me that is going to win an election, I look at you are telling me our people are animal. Are you telling me our people don't know that they are hungry? Are you telling me our people don't know that their children are being murdered in cold blood? I saw day before yesterday at the Freeport. Guess who were behind him? Lebanese and Indians. They're in charge of our stomach. Our nation wealth. Liberians will never own a store in Lebanon. Never. Today, maybe 100 years later, they were not happy. Black women in Lebanon are only good for husband and prostitution. Even if they go to do domestic work, they will turn them into the sex slave. That's where they are good for people to pee on them. All right? So, and this is not to offend anyone. I have to speak in general terms. We're talking about 90%. So the 20% really or 10% really will not be important out of those 1% that come and try to make a difference. All right? So is not going to be able to win. There's too much cry in his name. There's too much disappointment within the market women, the poor people, the little boys who used to walk miles and miles to go wait for him, those that believe in him. And he had disappointed them. Look at LU. Let me say this before I go quickly and read.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for this. Let me say this.
I appreciate you for that.
In 2018, when we first took over, when Koji became the city mayor, that young man had an opportunity. I think you kept saying Koji asked for scholarship, go land somewhere.
Yeah,
I
you're
said
right.
this too.
I said that, yeah.
The first few months that job went to his head, was a lot of trouble. Then he calmed down. Remember District 13 issue?
Yeah.
People were murdered in 3 weeks later, we found their body being pushed in the graveyard. I played that video last night. I purposely played for a reason. Then he went back on LU campus and attacked those people. The first time I met Martin Colley in rear, I called him on Zoom because he had gotten beaten or gas on his arm at the LU because Koji took people there. Okay, and I'm getting some with this sedition and everybody else watching platform, right? That whole year he used it to cause trouble instead of trying to position himself. 2019, in fact, when we are, and I said this, and I like to say this, everything that we do in life, we got to look at the symbol. What are you trying to amplify? During the SANA, the State of the Nation address, barricaded 4 mansions. Police to attack LU. I will play the video. I said, you're supposed to be the president, the man of the people. He barricaded himself. He separated himself. That is symbolic. If you look at Saul, the first king of Israel, when he went back to a tomb, Samuel tried to walk away from him. The gun left in his hand. Said the Lord has separated himself. He may not have physically, symbolically he did. And I tried to say, and people used to come and curse me. And I say, we are. When I came to this country, Randy, I left all my family. When I got here, I was homeless. I called my mom to go home. She said, you may be the only survivor. You come here for all to die. I talked to my mom. The second war broke. I never heard from her. The only thing that was important, the only thing that gave me hope in this country, I would sit on the people's house, I was on the floor watching CNN. Our people confused, going different direction because some people going abroad, people going. When they brought George Weah, when I say Weah, they say where? That was for me the light that kept me hopeful. And when people say I hate that, no, I don't. Wanted for Weah to make me wrong, but this one, I am right and I've been right, and I have spoken strongly. Weah, give us justice. That's what you promise us. Deliver justice. What you promise us. but he is surrounded by lions and leopards and vampires and Dracula, just not vampire, the Dracula himself sucking up. I don't think he can find his way. I don't think maybe that was never his intention. And I feel bad for him. And here's why.
Mm.
Who took us in that we were not killed? Dave Kraken will be celebrating him this weekend. Not this weekend, this year, because he's old now. The information director who were acting ambassador during the war, who went to door to get door out. Someday I will tell the Liberian people the last time he left door and left the Manchester, the word he said. And I'm telling Towia, be careful your surrounding. Those that are there and telling you, you're okay, the people love you. No, the people separated themselves from we are. We are not going to win any election, not fairly anyway. If Liberian people, I would say this, Liberian people say in 2017, if we have to vote for a dog, it will not be a UPN. They will vote for that.
So the PAPDP, the PAPD is a dead document. Make no sense.
But Brother Randy, let's look at it this way. You have 5 years. Lied. You stole. You watch your people murder. You know, when I say we are rape, we are this, and I come back and explain, I say 80 in the bedding. If you're in a house, in my house, my husband is the head of the household. I am the second in command. If something happened to my children, I don't have a word to say. Then it's my fault. I'm not saying physically, well, maybe he's doing something, but I'm not saying he physically going there and doing it. But we put our lives in his hands. We put our future and that of our children in his hands. That is the role and responsibility of a government.
One last question. Services. One last question for you. Do you think what happened in the comments going to go back and forth, do you think we are support that idea or he play neutral?
He does. We are the chief executive of the nation. We are the commander-in-chief of the nation. Everyone who is in the court system, including the Supreme Court. Okay? The Supreme Court is supposed to have independence, but in Liberia they do not. But the Chief Justice, not the Chief Justice, the Minister of Justice, the SG, all of those people work at his will and pleasure. And let me say this to you: the mastermind behind this, okay, Miguel, are pulling the rope. You know, the initial what do you call it? CPP did not have Yuri there, but because Yuri supported Bwaka, automatic loyalty and Bwaka influence for them to bring Yuri on because Yuri was gone. Let me say something. These people have no vested interest. UP did not pay her bill. The guy seat one. They say, let's bring this fool. You don't know Liberian politics. We're smarter than him. We know the system. We are corrupt. You know, we'll bring him. We'll use his money. And he think is that you think, Randy, do people think where you work?
The pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, exactly. You just got there.
Nope. I go through that process.
When they're that. Out,
yeah,
physically, or mentally, or intellectually, okay, you pay your dues to be where you are. All right. No, if other white people were there that could do that better than you, you wouldn't be there.
That's true.
You have to be 3 times as good as the white man for you to be in that position.
That's true.
The point I'm making to you is Alexander Cummings didn't get up there because you know they're saying like breast sex for job. That's not it. At the level that he got to, you must be able to produce because 800,000 lives are dependent on it. A legacy organization that been around, that is a part of America, depended on it at the time. So he was not a stupid man. Some of us who give thousands of dollars every year, okay, to the organization to fund it, we're not stupid. I'm taking away from my children's college fund to give to y'all. For the sake of my country, all of my children were born here. And Randy, I ain't got to be in this Liberian junk. Gotta be there. So, Sonny Bob, do what I've done for you. I gotta be able to call you and say, this is this, is that. I don't. I don't even have to come to Liberia.
Thank you, says yeah.
Most of my people are dead. So when y'all come back, let me say this to these people that one last time.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Comey is a very intelligent man. If people control you, nobody controls him. In fact, if Mr. Cummings were control, he would not have been part of the CCP. Because I think he said, I say on many platforms, maybe he told you, up to the last time that it was a drag for them to sign a CCP document. We did not want him to be a part of those people because we knew they were no good. I know them. I even start to the point that tears sat in my eyes. And Mr. Cummings said, these are our people. Everyone deserves a second chance. They say they're doing this for the country. Let's give them an opportunity and see.
Okay.
And he gave them an opportunity. So take Mr. And the last thing, Mr. Cummings is a straight man. And most of you who are gay phobic, maybe that you're the one who got gay tendency. All right? And I'm going to leave it right there.
Thank you for addressing that point. Thank you,
Thank
sis. Yeah. Have a great weekend. Thank you for your
Mhm.
effort and input tonight. Thank you. Oh, all right. So, guys, the only person, Sonny Boy, I know you're going to come on here, but I'm not here for TikTok. Sis has said that the PDP meeting that is coming up, there's a memo here, is coming up on Monday, the 11th, 2022, is boogers, because Mr. Weah has failed.